Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? It's Jay the Great here, back with another podcast. Back again. Hope you guys are doing well. You got me and Batman here. Shinobi should be joining us shortly. He's on his way, I believe. Hope you all are doing well. The newest chapter of Boruto released. Very telling. Yes, all I could say is simply one line. Amado is him. Shutting down Kawaki like he's a lamb to the slaughter, literally. Creating this synthetic karma, literally turning him off with a shutdown phrase. I mean, the guy's him. I mean, he makes Shikamaru look average as far as intelligence. I mean, this guy is something else. He's him, literally. Yeah, he's literally him. He's built different. Literally. Yeah, he literally is built different. Yeah, he really is cunning, very, very cunning, very intelligent. If he was any less intelligent, he would have died a long time ago. He's just built different, literally. Which is ironic because he
It
literally
at
has no
least goes to
powers.
show that if you have a certain level of intelligence, that you can be a threat even in the Borutoverse. So
Oh,
it is
facts.
interesting.
Yeah, this guy he's built different. What's going on, Kedrick? What's going on, brother? By the way, if you guys haven't already, make sure to hit the. Give me a second. This shit's tripping. Make sure to hit the like button. Really appreciate it. It's helping the algorithm. Results in better future streams as well. So make sure to hit that like button, of course, and the sub button too if you haven't, of course. But yeah, the Boruto chapter is definitely telling. These Shinju are still, quite interesting with the, Gaara's son's clone, Ryu. He displayed an interesting ability, which I thought was very, very, very cool. He has the ability to sense emotion with his iron sand, kind of like Naruto did when he first awakened KCM, when he was able to sense emotions of his enemies. Very interesting. Now, my question is, how powerful are these other Shinju? We know that the leader of the Shinju, Juro, is by far the most powerful. Um, these other ones are quite powerful as well. They were to defeat Kage level individuals, but are they a Tsutsuki plus level? That's the question. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. It's very telling though that the abilities they do possess are quite useful. Um, Chapter was it was a definitely a transition chapter though, I'd have to say. Definitely enjoyed it. Definitely a setup chapter. Not much happened. But we'll have to wait and see, what happens next here. So Amado's him though, that's all I gotta say. Became a bigger fan of him with this chapter, no doubt. No doubt.
No, ever since his original entrance when he pulled up to the village and shit, and they had like Shikamaru's kid hostage and all that. Ever since I saw all of that,
Yeah,
and then just all the statements of what he did to like the whole Card clan, like I just knew he was about that. Like that man was
literally.
crazy. I didn't know what the fuck his end goal game was because he did certain things that didn't really make sense at first, but like the whole thing of like making code nerfs so he can't, undermine Jigen and shit and blah blah. And so I don't know, there's a lot like but overall, like the moment he was just shown, bro, he was that guy.
No, literally,
Yeah.
literally him.
Uh,
But yeah, great chapter. Kurama really pulled a generational fumble this chapter. Are you talking about the Matsuri clone? Yeah, so Matsuri clone is fond of him, because the Shinji, because she has it. Basically, she is Matsuri reincarnated. They grew up together. Um, but he had this weird like problem with Matsuri calling the clone of her rather calling him Konoramu-chan, and it caused her to like become agitated, and she started to flex her chakra. It was really dumb. Honestly, this makes Konohamaru look like a bigger L. I mean, he's looked like an L the entire Boruto franchise. It's unfortunate. It really is. Um, it's a very dumb mistake to make. But yeah, what's going on, Jim? But I agree that was a horrible fumble. I don't know what the hell that was. That was anti-Shinobi like. That's pretty sad. Very, very sad, actually. Not just typical L Konohamaru and Boruto. he peaked in the pain arc when he destroyed that one path of pain. Honestly,
The sad part about that though is that was a mental amp too though.
yeah.
Like it wasn't even like like his normal stats, but yeah, like Konohama, bro, he's just been ass, man.
Oh
Like
man, he's been ass
fucking
for so
like
long.
the manga, like he's just been really shit. Like really, the anime is really the only thing that kind of gives him some good looks in a way. Like he ends up copying what Hiruzen does. He has like his own monkey summoning and shit.
Yeah,
But it's not even like the full one. It's like a kid monkey though.
yeah,
So like that's a little weird, but like he has that. So he, like again, like he's like approaching certain footsteps in a way to to be. I don't know. I guess to have that that aura because like Hiruzen was always that guy, bro, and he's just not even there yet. You know
oh hell no,
what I
oh
mean?
hell no. He puts
But
his
like,
grandfather's turning in his grave right now. He's like, bro, what
yeah,
the fuck
like
is?
fucking, and
Nah.
other than that, like anime only again, like fucking like he has like some really cool fighting choreography scenes and shit. But it's like okay, cool. He's a Jonin, that's kind of expected. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
it's
so
bare minimum.
it's just very disappointing overall as like as for him as a Jonin and then like and just what he can do. Like especially him having the rising gun. Like, bro, you would think this motherfucker would even know Sage Mode at this point. And
Yeah,
he doesn't know shit. Like,
he has
like
nothing impressive going for him right now. Unfortunately,
yeah,
nothing.
bro, like Kakashi, like here's the difference, because like we're not complaining that like oh he's just like a high tier jonin, like that's fine, because Kakashi and Guy they were high tier jonins and they weren't like the strongest or whatever, they had their limits, but they were at least presented in a way where they were still about it. You know what I mean? Like, and even if like
Yeah,
they were against someone that was blatantly beyond them, they just they accepted it, right? They didn't like try to prolong the inevitable, like
yeah,
it made just
literally.
look even worse, like
Yeah,
they'd
just
be like, all right, well, I'm either dead here or all right, that's it, like so like
yeah,
fucking like that's the difference. And they had tons and tons of W's, tons of W's. So
yeah,
like
literally.
that's the difference, But
Yeah, it's very disappointing. How much of an L this guy's been, but here we are. Always fumbling, even making emotional mistakes. It's very bizarre. I'm trying to send a super chat, but it won't let me. Is it on? That's weird. Could I? Let me see. Let me check. I'm pretty sure you should be able to. Let me make a. I'm just gonna send myself one just to see real quick. Let me see real quick. This is a test, folks. See if it works. Yeah, it should work. I just checked right now. Sent $1. It should be good. Try reloading the stream maybe. Sometimes the YouTube interface will have some problems. All right. Let's see here. I'll remove that real quick. Thoughts on Trump's presidency so far? I'll say this. He's certainly attempting to be productive. Signing like dozens of executive orders. I know one of them was denied by the judicial branch, of the United States. The one I believe that was where he was attempting to end birthright citizenship in the United States. The one of the judges, I think, gave his comments and said it's simply just unconstitutional. It was a clearly unconstitutional order. Um, you know, due to the system of checks and balances. So I would say, I mean, I think we could all say he's been very active. It's too soon to tell, right? Because he's only been in office for like 3 days, but he signed a lot of, seemingly significant orders. The one with deeming the cartel as a foreign terrorist organization, which
yeah,
allows the United States to intervene. Uh, you know, I've been seeing this all over Twitter and giving my 2 cents as I have ties to the area where the cartel inhabit. If the U.S. were to intervene, clearly it would aid Mexico. The Mexican government has been trying to rid of the cartel for over 3 decades now, a long, long time. They're very powerful to the point where the government itself has lost to them. Like the Mexican government has literally surrendered to them before. That's how powerful they are.
that's sad. That's
Yeah,
sad.
it's really sad.
Like
They've
imagine a
taken
civilian Fucking like,
There's no
just
hope.
imagine
Yeah,
any like civilian organization, but yeah, it's kind of like the Akatsuki, basically.
yeah,
That's really what they are. They're like the
literally.
Akatsuki, low key.
Yeah, yeah. They're literally.
Like they're so like fucking powerful, and you name it. Like not even the government can fuck with them, which AKA would be like the military. For us, like the nations, like because for Nards it's Konoha, whatever. For us, it's U.S., Russia, whatever. It's like
Yeah,
that. That's just sad.
that's crazy. And if the U.S. were to actually like step on foreign land with military presence, I
Yeah.
feel like Mexico would be open to it. I don't see why not.
But
I'm sure they want to rid of it.
if they're not,
Um,
then they're retarded. But
yeah,
that's the thing too. Like Trump, hope I would assume he has some logical brain cells that he does get permission to do his thing. To do
yeah,
teamwork, to dream work. But like I will say this: if we combined our power with our resources and everything we have, like that should be a pretty clean sweep. The only
yeah,
issue though is it depends how they go about it too. Because if they just try to go about it the traditional way, sending troops or whatever you name it, I'm gonna say this right now: there is gonna be sacrifices.
oh, it's gonna be a
They're
war. It's
not
gonna be a
just gonna be.
fucking war
Yeah,
zone.
it's
Yeah,
it's gonna be really bad. And unfortunately, that means we're gonna lose a lot of people, whatever you name it. So like, I guess like one of the cons is like because we have a lot of issues of our own already, that
yeah,
we should probably be trying to tackle and deal with ourselves, but we're always trying to resolve the other world's problems.
yeah.
But like, and that's fine, but at least just be smarter, right? Like, be work smarter, not harder, in a way, right?
Yeah, definitely. Very
So like what
difficult
I'm
process.
yeah, like
Yeah,
so either like what they can do is they could have civilians, keep them out of a certain area, whatever, blah blah. Like the whole nine. Like just prep accordingly, and then bro, start throwing down some artillery. Like some just fight smart. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
what the fuck are they gonna do against
Calculated.
airstrikes and shit?
Oh, they're
Yeah,
fucked.
like and all that.
Yeah, definitely
They're
fucked.
getting wiped out instantly, bro. That's like
Yeah,
shooting a
Taliban
BG
type
bomb, bro.
shit.
Like
Yeah,
literally. It's like
yeah,
again, if they're smart and they're actually decisive and go about it the right way, I think it could make pretty good changes. And there you go now to any of the pacifists out there. If you guys are like, oh no, don't kill anybody. It's wrong, blah blah, whatever, or innocent until guilty, and the whole justice court system. It comes
they're
into
long
the
past that.
discussion, guys, where you got to realize there's that the system can only go as far as you need it to go. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
like, and this is why this just becomes like an inevitable like philosophy or morality conversation. This is even demonstrated and shown in comics such as DC and Marvel. Like
yeah,
it's like, is the justice system enough? Is it actually competent? Is it actually, and that's where you have a whole other fucking thing. And there's moments where it's just not, bro. There's moments where you got people that are just untouchable, whether if it's lawyers, whatever, and you got, gangs and so on and so like, and it's just, it is what it is. That's the sad reality that we're in.
yeah.
So the way I see it, and again, we're speaking fictions wise, but now we're actually trying to engage and approach it in the real world. But for fiction, at least, that's how we ended up with people like the Punisher, where he was like, fuck the justice system, right? And he did his thing and he was like, all right, it's all about killing whatever. And that's when you end up with other people, such as Daredevil, whatever, blah, yada, 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 right? And to where they inflict justice into their own hands when it's absolutely necessary. So they'll try to use the justice system, but if it's without all fail, then they're like, all right, fuck this, right? Even Daredevil, who was a lawyer himself, was like, yeah, no, I got to get involved to get my hands dirty. So
Yeah,
like, think of it kind of
yeah.
like that aspect of what the US is trying to do, and so on and so forth. So like, I guess that's kind of a way to accept it. Now the whole killing thing, at the end of the day, that's a whole other thing.
It's
If you just don't
inevitable.
fuck with the killing, it is what it is.
Uh,
But I'm gonna be real with you guys. If we were ever in an apocalypse or anything, if you're not willing to do what you got to do, you're
you
fucked.
lose. Yeah,
It's
you fucking
yeah, you
lose.
lose. So
Shinobi Joe, what's going on, brother? What's going
yo
on, brother?
yo.
Yeah.
Yo, yo, yo. All right. So, as a newcomer to the what's going on, by the way, the great one. As a newcomer to the UFC, how do matches work, and what does it take to solidify a win? So the UFC criteria has changed over the years, specifically in the UFC. What is considered a winning performance? There are
So
several factors. There's ground control, aggression, like who is the aggressor, significant strikes, damage. Um, those are the main points here as well. Um, activity, who's more active. Let's say two fighters are very inactive in comparison to average bouts. Who is more active, right? Who is leading the dance, which goes back to aggression. All those factors tie into who wins a bout, basically. Essentially. So, um, it can become complicated at times. For example, when you have a fighter who is simply like the Khabib type, who simply holds you down and sort of drowns you. A lot of people disagree that's winning a fight, but I disagree with that premise because it's a skill that you attain to manipulate, another human being. And if you can't stop it, then you're simply inferior. All right, you're the inferior fighter. That's why Khabib was so dominant.
Yeah,
Yo yo, brother.
yeah.
I think you're lagging a bit, by the way.
Sure.
You're cutting in and out. I think. Yeah. Who has more aura, Batman or Madara? Batman just has so much more literature on him, so many aura building moments. He has almost a century worth of literature at this point. I think he was created in like the late 30s or mid 30s, something like that. So it'd have to be Batman right now. Overall. But yeah, folks, any questions at all, feel free. It can be about, Trump's inauguration. It can be about, of course, sports, any anime really, the sports world, combat sports. We have some very great fights coming. I'm pretty sure Canelo's fighting Crawford. For you boxing fans, that's going to be a heck of a fight. I will certainly tune in. Um, some very good fights coming. UFC as well. Ryan Garcia is fighting. I believe Haney and Garcia are fighting on the same card, and if they both win their fights, they will face each other once again. That seems to be the plan. Thoughts on Destiny getting exposed and sued? So, I don't know enough to say he's guilty of the things that I've heard he's accused of. I believe a female went out and some female he affiliated with alleged that he exposed intimate photos or videos or something of that nature of them or of her more specifically, and she's exposing him and attempting to sue him for damages. If there's proof, of course he needs to be punished. That's not okay. That's that is certainly an invasion of privacy and to expose very intimate moments and photos of this female. If not, she should be punished. It's that simple. Destiny's an interesting character. Um, I've been neutral on him for a long time as far as how I feel about him as a influencer. He's certainly intelligent, but he has his judgment clouded by emotion a lot of the time. It's surprising to me. I'll say that he's in that kind of light right now. I didn't expect someone like him to have to deal with that, but here we are. I saw the new trailer for a new Assassin's Creed Shadows gameplay. People said that the parkour in the game is horrible. That's unfortunate because that's what Assassin's Creed was known for, parkour, which is ironic. It's ironic that it's bad in that game. Give me a second, folks. Make sure my co-hosts are still here. All right. Which show you could always go back to and still get a good laugh out of? That's a good question. I have a couple shows. I would say one that I go back to, The Office. I mean, I think that's a very niche, a very cliche answer. But The Office is pretty funny. The subtle, dry humor can't, never gets old. Never gets old. Um, that's certainly probably at the top of the list, I would say. Um, honestly, SpongeBob. I should. It slaps. SpongeBob still slaps to this day. A couple of shows that come to mind here, for sure. But yeah, folks, a lot of things have happened, especially in the real world. SpongeBob or Boondocks? I was a SpongeBob kid for sure. Boondocks is very iconic though. I like that show too, but SpongeBob, man, I was on it, from a very, very young age. So,
My bad. I had to step away for one moment. What's
oh,
it
you good.
called? But what am I?
Someone asked who has more aura, Batman or Amado. I was like, well, it's gotta be Batman, man, for sure.
Oh
Shit.
yeah, definitely Batman. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can always call me unbiased, but nah, he just has way, way, way more peaks, aura,
Yeah, much
moments.
more. Yeah.
Overall, as a character too, like popularity, iconic, like just everything, dude. Like
Yeah.
big screen, animated, just all of it. He clears in so many ways. Don't get me wrong, Madara is fucking that guy, but like Batman, he's that guy. And mind you, he does that without any special, no genetics, no nothing,
Yeah.
So
What's going
hard
on,
work,
guys?
just
You
straight
caught
hard
up
work.
with Dama? Yeah, I am caught up with it. Very nostalgic. Certainly enjoyed it. I've been enjoying it. I heard that it ends next month. That's what I heard. Unfortunate. Yep. I meant those are my two picks. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, yeah. Great picks. Yeah. Is there a way not to have fatigue early on when working? Feels like I gas out pretty easily when working out. I would say certainly. Well, obviously it depends on the specific type of workout that you are performing. For cardio, I think I could say this quite safely for both cardiovascular type exercises and strength based. Warming up is important. I would certainly say warming up. It prepares your body. It's essentially indicating your body that you are about to endure some rigorous physical activity. If you just jump in, let's say you just jump in straight into a bench heavy, you won't be as prepared, and there's a higher risk of injury. Now for cardio as well, you start to let's say you go on a treadmill and start sprinting, same thing. You risk injury. Your body's not as well equipped as it would be if you stretch or just prepare for it mentally as well. Working out is as mental as it is physical. There, from a biological standpoint, but and even just from a psychological standpoint as well. Um, Sports psychology is a real thing. I'll just prepare your body and mind as best you can for physical activity. That's what I would say.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
That's all important, and most importantly, like everyone's body's different too. So
for
that's
sure.
another
Yeah,
thing too. That's the biggest thing is your body structure, your weight, and all that. So really, that also can affect it. But at least keeping things as simple as possible, like proper hydration is extremely important. You
oh,
have to
for
be
sure.
drinking water before, after, keep staying hydrated. If you're not, then you're gonna underperform. You want to eat a balanced diet or certain diets, depending on what your body's needing. Because again, everyone's body's different. But let's say if you need, carbohydrates to fill your workout, whatever, etc. Like for any of the football players out there, but if you ever like won the football and you're about to, play your game that day, whatnot, why do you think they served you a bunch of pastas and shit, before you played and
Yeah,
etc.
exactly.
You name it, like so. Like again, like what you're consuming is important, hydration's important, and another one, to manage your like how intense like your workout is. So the workout intensity, like the
Intensity. Yeah.
duration, the sets, what you're doing. So for an example, like if you're over here trying to fucking weightlift, let's say you find out your bench max is 150 or whatever, right? And you're
Yep.
immediately trying to do like 140, 130. That's not happening, bro. Like you need to
Nah.
take it slow. You have to
Yeah.
do repetitions to build based upon what your max is. So whether if it's 60% or 70%, and doing reps of that in certain sets, and then eventually, like the more you do it, then you can start pushing a lot more higher where you're attributing 70% of your max, or 80%, right? Which obviously the higher the percentage, the less reps you're doing as well, because the higher the intensity of the workout, more than likely the less reps you're going to be doing, because that's just how the human body works, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So like overall, like that's how you also have to structure it. And a really big one that a lot of people don't miss a lot is sleep. You have to get enough
Oh,
sleep.
that's pivotal. Yeah.
um yeah, like you need at least bare minimum 8 hours of sleep, or at least six to eight.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
make sure you're getting sleep and whatnot. And consider even incorporating rest days into your routine. So depending on
yes.
how hard you're working,
Definitely
rest
need it.
days are also very important. So like if you're over here destroying your body, weightlifting, or just doing all these body home workouts, or then doing like an extreme cardio exercise, and you're fucking sore the next day, like fucked up, right? You probably want to take a rest day, either for 1 or 2 days until your body's conditioned and good to go. Because the last thing you need is working out while you're extremely fucking sore and fatigued and in the healing process. And for one, you're not going to be performing how you would normally perform because your
No,
body's healing.
counterproductive.
Two, yeah, counterproductive. Two, what's it called? You're could also increase your risk of getting injured.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and that's the last thing you need, which then just completely backtracks all the progress you've even made at a certain point. So,
yeah,
that's just like the basics, hydration, nutrition, workout management, sleep hygiene, recovery, and there's other factors, but at the end of the day, if that's too much for you to deal with, then just get a fitness trainer. I mean, if you have the money for it, go to any fitness place, whatever the fuck it is, Planet Fitness, whatever the hell you want to do, YMCA, and just consult with somebody, and they'll work with you as well. And there you go.
yeah.
Shinobi losers, bro.
What's going on, brother?
Guys, how's it going? Sorry about
What's going
that,
on,
dude.
brother? Oh, you good? You good, bro?
Setting in the server, bro. It was like the auto sensitivity setting, and it was turned off for some reason. So I apologize.
Oh, you good?
But
For sure.
You're good, man.
Discord be
Hey,
tripping.
boy, let's get it.
Yes, sir. Batman is an aura farmer of aura farmers. Facts, bro.
He set that shit up, bro.
Yeah, facts. What are y'all's number one favorite fictional characters, and who would win between y'all's favorite fictional characters? That's a good question. My favorite fictional character in general, very cliche, but I'd probably say Batman.
Honestly, it depends on like certain variables too. But if we're saying like out of everybody,
Or
like
Spider-Man.
heroes and villains, for me, that's a hard one, man. But like it's between Batman and Spider-Man. I am in a similar ballpark. I feel like they're just such well-written characters.
Well-written.
Very popular as well. If I had to choose between those two, though, obviously Batman for many reasons. It's my fucking name, but
Yeah.
but overall, like there's really a lot of good characters though.
No, there's so many. Yeah, there's so
but
many.
if we're just particularly talking villains though, bro, like
any
Joker,
any character,
whatever.
yeah, any character.
Yeah,
Any
so
fiction.
so that's what I'm saying. Like if it's just any, then yeah, I'm gonna go with the heroes at the end of the day. But
Facts.
but that's not like any fiction. I don't know. That's just for me. But like if we're removing DC and Marvel, because I know normally those
Walter
are people's
White.
go-tos and shit. Yeah, like if I'm maybe like think of animes and shit or manga, then honestly, bro, probably like that's hard, bro.
It's so hard.
Really fucking hard. That's really fucking hard out of all animes and mangas, bro.
God
like
damn,
it's
bro.
like my list is between Goku,
I don't know. Goku, maybe.
Itachi, Minato, Pain, Madara,
so many, dude.
Motherfuckers, there's so many, bro. Like, but if I had to pick, like, I guess I would say, fuck, man, that's still hard too. It's between Pain and Madara, bro. Really,
but what about you, Shinobi?
Yeah. So,
all right. Well, honestly, I think it's real easy. The obvious answer is Jesus Christ. That's it, dude.
Oh, facts.
Wait, what did you say?
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! Let's get it.
What's going on, Marcus? What's going on, brother? Who would win between all our characters? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, exactly. He's omnipotent.
Literally.
Yeah,
he's omnipotent.
Man can like beat you up with a teddy bear if you wanted to.
He's literally him.
He's him, literally, bro. Yeah, literally.
You get a bear from Build a Bear Factory, and just beat your ass.
Oh, facts, bro.
Yeah,
facts. Which actor portrayed Batman the best in live action films? I'd have to say Christian Bale. Overall, I think so far.
Overall, definitely Bale. The only critique you can really give for Bale was just the poor fighting choreography.
Yeah, it wasn't
the
best.
Spins and a lot of like street fighting in a sense, but like the emphasis through the narrative of what they made for his like fighting capability was like obviously legendary, but they didn't demonstrate it in that
Yeah,
way
not the
though.
best. That was definitely the flaw in the,
Yeah, that was the only flaw. Other than that, all around Bruce,
he played it really
core
well.
aspect of Batman, he did fucking fantastic. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Exactly.
And that's
Yeah.
why that trilogy was really like so fucking good too, and just
Yeah.
like so well done and fantastic. It wasn't really like if it being complete perfection, it was just the writing and them really understanding the characters was really well done.
The
That's what really made him
thematic,
shine.
like the
Yeah.
ideology of Batman is so well done, like explored in
Yeah.
all of the whole trilogy. Even Batman Begins, when he's talking to Ra's al Ghul, when he's training with Ra's al Ghul, when he's barely becoming Batman, and he's like, you got to channel your anger. Yeah, you got to channel your anger. You got to let go of the past.
Yeah, him build, and that's another thing, like showing him building up to it, like working his
Yeah.
ass. Like the man disappeared, like was gone for years, traveled the whole world just to become this legendary symbol.
Yeah, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's really well done. Especially Batman Begins is always overshadowed by obviously the better film, The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
But even when he fights Ra's al Ghul at the end of Batman Begins, and Ra's al Ghul is like, "You should have been beside me, right where you belong." He's like, "No, I belong here, beating you here now. Like I'm like basically teacher surpassed student." Basically made him see the error of his ways. Like you're looking at our, the gifts we have. You're using in the wrong way. It's not about dominating or like taking over. It's about
Or tyranny.
justice. Yeah, like you're a tyrant, and I'm basically the knight. Like ironically enough, I'm the knight that's gonna take out the tyrant. But it's really really well done.
Like because they had similar goals, but like Ra's al Ghul took it to the extreme.
Yeah,
You know what I mean, and which also they led to like trying to just kill a bunch of innocent people in order to like deal with the bad. And it's like basically Ra's al Ghul's mentality was
tyrant.
It's for the greater good. You know what I mean? Sacrifice, even sure innocence, but hey, this is the only way to cleanse all the corrupt and and blah blah whatever. And Batman's like, nah, man, like we can still have morals, whatever, and integrity. We don't necessarily have to kill. And yeah, like there may be moments where we have to maybe inflict of like our own justice or breaking the law, or some like tyranny behaviors, but we could do that by, intervening when it's absolutely necessary and not killing and still following the law and justice.
Yeah, more tyrant. He was more of a tyrant. Yeah, Ra's al Ghul was definitely noble in his own way, but more tyrant than Batman ever was. If you could take three rappers,
and that's why they were good, man. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, really, really good. If you could take three rappers from the '90s and put them in 2025, who would you pick? Pac, Biggie, and besides those two, who else from the '90s? Pac, Biggie, and I'm trying to think about.
Put them in 25 though. That's hard though because like you don't know how they're going to adapt or like
That's true.
essentially evolve in today's like times, but it might even strengthen them. So I think it's an interesting question. But I mean, you can't go wrong with Pac, right? I mean, they're just like brass, like they're hardened soldiers. You know what I mean? You can't fuck with them.
Real, yeah, those guys are real. Yeah,
they're about it, bro. They're the OGs, man.
Yeah, I
besides
Pac and Biggie, is he someone like? Who else besides those two?
Maybe like what's the guy's fuck the guys from Blackstreet, dude.
Oh man, like some real like
guys from, bro.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Or even like Guru from like fucking that one group, Blackstar. Yeah, Blackstar. Yeah.
Yeah. That would be a good. It'd be interesting to see how if they're like the way they were then, how they beat here, in today's era.
It's like good quality work.
Quality. Yeah.
Another thing to add to that Batman thing though, real quick, Jay. I forgot. The other Batmans though, like the way it was always shown too, like and all around it's Christian Bale, but the one thing that was a common consistent thing they did is a certain Batman always shine in a particular area. That's what normally was demonstrated with it throughout the Batmans. And that's like where it fell apart, really, to be honest. That's why it didn't work, because they made one area so great, but all the other areas were just non-existent. And you need that for Batman. You can't, and that's why Christian Bale worked so well, is because he was an all-around just really good. While for like the Ben Affleck Batman, his perfect thing was the fighting. Like it was kind of like seeing Batman Arkham, like how good his fighting was, how he would like strategize using his gadgets and shit, things like that. It's like that was really well, but everything else was horrible. His detective skills was shit. His intelligence was shit. The Martha scene, all that, he's over here cracking jokes and just doing even characteristics that's not even like Batman. Like the list goes on, right?
I think
So
people, they underrate how hard it is to really portray a fictional character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people from comic books to anime adaptations, whatever it is, it's usually trash. Dude, look at Avatar, right?
Yeah,
Look at that.
facts.
Shows ass.
Garbage.
Dude.
I mean, like,
Drag-
it's like people don't learn, Shinobi, people don't learn their fucking lessons though either, because like they have the material and they'll consistently ignore it, and then
Dragon
they'll wonder
Ball.
why they flunked or failed. Like
Yeah.
that don't, it's
Dragon
like
Ball
that
is
meme
so
where they're like,
ass,
what the fuck
the movie.
happened? You know, like it's like,
Yeah.
bitch, what do you expect?
Yeah, bro.
So
Dragon Ball.
like, that's what I'm saying. Like they'll be fumbling the bag, man.
Yeah, fact,
I don't
bro.
blame the actor though. I blame the director, bro.
Oh,
'cause he's the most-
director. Yeah, it's the
definitely
writer.
not the actor. No, yeah, not the actor's
I
fault.
give actors some like leniency based off
Like
that.
for instance, like Jared Leto, like he potentially could have been his own like good unique Joker.
He's a
but
good
the
actor,
writing
too.
was just fucking shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
and overall with what we had, it just that just didn't work. Like you don't make joke. Like it just doesn't work, bro. Like
shit was
they
so
could
ass.
have made it work, but the way they went about it was ass.
Facts.
And it didn't help. And it didn't help that the Batman in that verse too, again, was also killing. And you name it. Like again, if you want to be doing shit like that, go make a fucking Elseworld story. You know what I mean? Or go make like where it's not our Batman and you got a Batman that's killing whatever, or something like you got the Dark Knight Returns legendary story. You got all kinds of stories out there that you can that are canon. It's just a different version in the multiverse of DC.
Facts.
So there's many ways you could go about it. You even got Owlman. Then you got the dark multiverse events like the Batman. Like, bro, if you want to go certain routes, it's all there. But you need to get the core league members done first. You like the official, like you know what I mean, like characters. You got to do those people right first because they literally connect to any big DC story out there, right? And then you can worry about Elseworld stories or this or different variants of these characters and what. That's what Marvel did. Like Marvel, they did exactly what the comics are. They focused the main characters, right? Like our main 616 Spider-Man or whatever, blah blah. And then once they introduced and showed everything, whatever, then they had like the different variants of them or forms or like all these different versions that are in the multiverse and how the multiverse is a threat, right? So like that's how you fucking do it. And Marvel got that really well, but DC is like, oh, let me join the bandwagon of like all these movies and TV shows and etc. Why they failed because let's just not follow like the material that's there for us.
Yeah, they just haven't found that perfect formula like Marvel has yet. Not at all. That's the problem. How strong was Thanos in the comics? Depends on the variant, for sure. We all know, like Gauntlet, Infinity Gauntlet, Thanos is like universal. I mean, blatantly does a universal feat. Without it, definitely depends on the variant, but he is like a very powerful being. He comes from, the planet Titan or the moon Titan or some shit. He's very powerful, and he's like a conqueror. That's what he really enjoys doing. He's certainly very powerful. I would say in base, an upper tier Avengers level threat, I'd say, even without the gauntlet.
Who are you referring to?
To Thanos.
Oh yeah, Thanos. He's that good, bro. He's such a great character, dude.
Yeah.
Like, no, he's great. Fucking and that was another thing with Jay. Robert Pattinson, he's a good all around Batman too. It's not nowhere near to the same like length of Bale, but like he's at least a good close competitive, Batman. At least to compare it to certain degrees. I thought what they did really well with him was the detective aspect of him, right? Like the detective aspects and certain intellect aspects, like again, like now they're really shining on that, but then everything else there was a lack of, it wasn't like the fighting wasn't bad either. Like he had some pretty good fighting stuff on up, but
it's like a year zero Batman.
But it was like, but the problem though is it's like a year zero Batman, or like a year one. So like there's only really so much you can present, and it was still along like the realism aspects of Batman, and that's another component and element that really is not really working for the character too. Because we've seen Batman's fucking origin story a million times. We've seen his fucking parents die over and over. We've seen, how he first operates when he's Batman. Nobody cares, bro. We want a prime, like, good to go Batman, or at least middle stream Batman, right? You know what I mean? Where there's really barely any realism, and he's clearly that guy. His intellect's crazy, his fighting's crazy, the whole nine, right? He's, you know, he has that aura, you name it. Like, that's the Batman that they should be immediately presenting and getting straight to, because they continue to try to build these Batmans from scratch, and we've seen it over and over. We don't fucking care. We've known the comics, we've seen the, you know, even animated, whatever. Like, we know all that, bro. You know what I mean? Like, show us like the best comic stories he's had, or, you know, all this shit, whatever, or what he's truly capable of. You know, we don't give a fuck about year 1 or 0 Batman. We would like to see maybe, you know, year 10 Batman or 20 you know, whatever, blah blah. You know what I mean? Like,
James Gunn even like I think he even said like I'm not
gonna
sell
with the
it.
Superman shit.
Yeah. I think James Gunn about Batman, he said he's not even going to include the origin story when he does make a Batman film. He's like, you know what? We've seen it.
Yeah.
And that's true. It has been seen.
And that's why I have a little bit of hope, even further hope with James Gunn too, is because like he's clearly understanding and getting the motto and what has not been working for all these fucking years, and you name it. Like, we don't need to see any of that, bro. Get straight to business. You have the really good stories that are there. Get to them, write them, and make the character already capable and just engaging with the fucking story. You know,
like honestly, he has all the material.
Bro, I'm sorry, but when I saw Patterson trying to fucking glide, and that motherfucker epically failed, hit his fucking head in like a cliff thing or whatever, and then just like dives and slams and everything. Like, I'll say this, it's an impressive batsuit feat. Like, the fact that he didn't die from that shit. But either way, like it's like, bro, are you kidding? You know what I mean? Like, again, I don't want no inexperienced. I don't want no inexperienced Batmans, no fucking realism or anything, or seeing the origin, bro. We need to get straight to the beans and the you know, and all that shit. You know, like,
I want that too, bro. Like, they can make such a fantastic movie off that. Not only does Batman sell, regardless of like how shitty it may be in comparison to other greats, like, right? It's going to make money, right? But the potential to like get an Oscar or like something like that degree is like something any good director would, you know, aspire to achieve one day. So it's like, bro, you have all the material, bro. Like, you don't. There's no
no one's exploited all the material yet. Right.
Jay should have. It's like they're given the fucking goddamn Renin shotgun and they still can't see shit, bro.
Facts. Yeah, it's definitely facts. Rapper's been standing up for reactors and dissing Drake lately. For you guys in the YouTube world, B. Lou, if you guys know who B. Lou is, he dropped a diss on Drake. Yeah, he dropped a diss on Drake called what was it called?
We've had this conversation like a couple amount of times because it's been like a recent viral thing exploding. But like the only thing we could really ever fault Drake for, and like really be, hey, like you're being a bitch about, is the reactor shit. Like, that's just unnecessary.
That's unnecessary.
Yeah, like again, the whole point of reactors and those YouTubers is not only to get more people and numbers and audience traction engaged, but to also get the fan bases engaged and just really promote it in a really positive way. They're not doing nothing wrong. They're literally just, you know, interacting with all the stuff that they have, that Drake or Kendrick was providing. Like, they didn't do shit. You know what I mean? And all because someone gives their subjective view of who they potentially think is winning so far or who won overall. Facts. Like, who cares, bro? Like, it's not. You can't fault someone for having an opinion. You know, I mean, that again, like we're getting back to that fucking woke bullshit, or like all this crap where, God forbid, you have an opinion or speaking about how reality operates, and now you get crucified for it. Like, no, that's not how that works, and that's what Drake was fucking doing to a certain extent. So that's just not okay. And if anything, it makes him look even worse. It really, in my opinion, it does. Like if you took an L, sometimes you got to learn to accept the L and then grow from it and then operate in the right direction to not receive and come on top, right? Because if you just refuse to take the L, you're just going to make it worse and worse and worse. And that's what the route he's kind of going.
Yeah, he's
refusing. And I respect it to a degree, but not when it's hindering you. That's
I agree. It's the wrong way to like show your will, your strong will. It's not the right way.
Yeah, exactly. That's not the way to go. And then so that is just a blatant like this retarded. Other than that, the only thing you can still play devil's advocate for. The next thing was like the whole lawsuit as a whole, but other than that, you know, that's really about it. You know, But everything else is like understandable, whatever, etc. I don't really have problems, So
Nah, yeah, I agree. I like how Akutami created JJK by combining his 3 favorite animes. Yeah, no, Gege is a very good writer. That's what we can say, despite the disappointing JJK ending. I'll say that. Who has more aura, Itachi or Pain? Itachi. I mean, I'm biased, but
yeah, no, I agree. I think he definitely.
they both have like really great aura. What's it called? But like Itachi, like he always has like that direct, like just solo molo like aura.
Solo
Pain
god.
was just along the side of like just like being like, oh, I'm a one man army type shit.
I'm a god.
You know what I mean? And that was that type of aura. So like really, it's kind of hard to compare them. But if we're just saying like fucking just like Solo McGee, then definitely fucking Itachi. And this is throughout every time he's shown like he was that guy. Also, if we're also considering like successiveness, like of him like coming on top or being that guy, definitely takes that way more than Pain, because every time he was shown when he came first to the village, the Chio clan, the war arc shit, everything, he was always coming on top. Better yet, that moment when he talks to Kabuto, bro, and he's like, "Oh, my every jutsu has a weakness, and that weakness is me." To Kabuto.
Facts. That was cold as fuck. I'll say this: I know Pain fans hate to hear this, but who sealed who? That answers your question.
Literally, bro. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, he just. I'm sorry, and it's throughout the whole narrative too, bro. From when he's a kid too. From when he's a kid, he has like that aura, that drip. That's the problem. Itachi, it never, ever fucking stops. Pain. Or Nagato, right? He doesn't really get to that point until after he's been through the trenches and all that bullshit.
No, facts.
And then he has like all
Itachi
that
was born that way. He was born that way.
He got better question, like for sure. I think
it's hands down Itachi. It's hands down Itachi. But that's overall. But if we're saying like in that one variable as like an overwhelming power presence, I would definitely lean towards Pain. But
yeah, he has that more godlike aura. Yeah.
The drip is close though.
The drip? Yeah, it is really close.
Because Madara's first place for like the overwhelming power aura.
Oh yeah, facts.
Like Madara like took that shit. Like,
facts,
bro,
we do.
What Pain did was impressive. He took that shit to a whole other level. You know what I mean? But Itachi, he just had that aura like all around and just the whole time, the whole narrative.
Oh yeah, facts. That's actually a good tier list, an aura tier list or some shit. That's crazy. Yeah, that would actually be pretty fucking W.
That'd be fantastic. But let's be real. Like, who's taking it? Who's number one and all around? It's still Itachi, even better than Madara.
Facts. Yeah, no. He's still him to most people. He's
like Madara's whole thing was just only Fairhack's aura, or overwhelming power aura, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't really like in all complete aspects, because he didn't really have a lot of screen time,
Yeah, facts. So, by the way, folks, if we reach 10 super chats, we'll do a reaction or tier list of your choice, by the way. 10 super chats, we'll do that. Yeah. So I put a goal thing right there.
That reminds me, Jay, with the whole Batman shit we're all saying, another perfect example, and it's, mind you, it's a fucking video game, Batman Arkham Origins. Bro, if we had a movie like that, starting from the rip, bro.
Oh, damn.
Like, how that starts from Batman Arkham Origins, probably one of the most underrated Arkham games out there, but the way it started from beginning to middle to end, that's the shit I'm talking about. That's the story that we need, bro. Like the Deathstroke fighting, all the assassins, his whole rogues gallery going after him.
He was cold already.
The GCPD going out, like, bro, he was against the whole world, and he still came on top.
He's cold
and was that guy. His fighting was insane. His intellect, his strategy, his fear, his aura, like, bro. That's how you do a Batman.
No, that was fire.
Starting off from the get.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's a cold. He was a cold man already. A very cold man. Like fucking.
Bro, like guys, if you want to see how Batman should be from the beginning, like fuck all the original comic, startups, whatever. We already seen all that. We don't care anymore, right? Because when they do all the reboots, then they eventually could still present Batman, and now he's like more of a badass. Like again, fuck all that. Origins, though, that's how you fucking have a Batman being presented.
Took out his whole rogue gallery in one night. That's
one night, bro.
crazy. That's crazy.
But bro,
Yeah,
like that's the aura or whatever. And you gotta do it to that extreme, bro. You could just pick like one villain out of, like
Joker or
out
fucking
of all, it could
Bane.
either be Joker, Bane, Deathstroke. But if anything, we've seen
Penguin.
Joker and Bane so much. Do Deathstroke. Get
Yeah,
that
that'd be
motherfucker in there.
fire.
That'd be a
That'd be
badass movie.
fire.
Seeing a Batman versus Deathstroke movie, whatever.
Fire.
Like
Yeah.
you could get some side detective, stuff going on, right? Where he's solving things, whatever.
Let's peek.
Or engaging with Gotham City, right? Or maybe he's even this is around the time when the GCPD is also against him. Incorporate all that, but make Deathstroke the main villain this time instead. And bro, that movie would be incredible.
You know what?
It'd go crazy.
What was the most peak moment in that fucking game, besides when he beats Joker, was when he was in the Penguin's fucking like boat and he knocked out Electrocutioner in one shot. He's like, "Bitch, you're not giving orders here anymore. Who's next, bitch?" I was like,
Jay,
"What the fuck?"
Jay, that shit was insane.
That was peak.
Bro,
Yeah.
he went into Penguin's fucking like criminal
his lair.
He literally ran up into like a villain territory. That's like pulling up to the Akatsuki lair, right?
Facts.
Where they're all there. You know what I mean? He pulls up and all those criminals. It's like a fucking. It was like a. What do you call that shit? It was like a gauntlet, right? Yeah, like area.
Facts.
So everybody's cheering. It's like a fighting area or whatever. He pulls up and he's like, he gets in there. He sees them all. He's like, I don't give a fuck. He's like, where's the fucking penguin? I want it right now. You know what I mean? Like, and then the penguin's like, oh no, somebody kill this motherfucker. And then they send like Electrocution, like their best like combatant, and Batman just one shots him. Literally. And he's like, where's the penguin? You know what I mean? And then next thing you know, they're like penguin's like, fuck. He's like, kill him. And they send like 100+ criminals down there.
Fucks them all up.
And you just beat their all out. Yeah, like, and then you get to Penguin. And he's like, and he sees it, bro. He shits his pants when he sees Batman. He's like, hold on a minute. And he picks him up and just throws him across the room into the mirror.
He's
and
like,
that's
bitch.
when Deathstroke comes and saves the day. Like, bro, again, that's the shit I'm talking about.
That
like,
was so peak. That was so peak, bro. That was so peak. When he beat Deathstroke too, Deathstroke's like, what the fuck are you? He's like, I'm him.
Bro,
I was like, damn.
Think of it, like he's a super soldier. He's
literally.
enhanced. He was a military experience. Like he's literally supposed to be like the best or the unstoppable force, right?
Yeah, like unstoppable.
And Batman just pulls up with no serum, no nothing, just raw training, intellect, discipline, whatever, and he's just that guy. You know what I mean?
Literally, even Deathstroke was like, "What the fuck?"
That's how he is in the comics.
Oh, facts.
And in the current reboots, whatever. Like again, if we're talking about like OG comics or like the consistency around that time, then he had to build up to that, right?
Facts.
He had to keep learning, whatever, and that's why Deathstroke beat his ass. Like he still gave him a run for his money, but Deathstroke did beat him the first time, whatever, etc., whatever. But here's the crazy thing: it was so competitive that it traumatized Deathstroke, and he literally went out of commission and wasn't a mercenary for a good while because of like how like close that fight was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even like the OG Deathstroke versus Batman was still very competitive. But again, like if we're ignoring how everything started originally, because things change, right? And then we had all these reboots. We've had all these reboots, and it's consistent to where Batman is just that guy from the rip. You know what I mean? We no longer have the human level Batman or the realism Batman when he first starts, whatever, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? That's not a thing anymore. We don't, because again, we've seen it. Nobody cares, right? So. Overall, like again, like Jay said, like that's another just incredible fucking moment. Like
fire,
again, like Shinobi said, the material is fucking there, but they don't.
It's always been there.
Use it. It's always been there.
Always. $5 from Kedrick. Appreciate you, brother. If you had a chance, by the way, there's one of these. Appreciate that, brother.
The Firefly fight too, Jay. That shit was crazy.
Shit, that shit was crazy.
The flying fight, when they're in the air, and like, that was great.
That was a pretty great fight. I'm not gonna lie. If you had a chance to find out what's at the bottom of the ocean or go to another planet, what would you pick? God damn.
I'm gonna be real. Probably another planet. Fuck the ocean, dude. That shit's scary.
Oh, fuck that, dude.
Like, that's just me, man. Like, don't get me wrong. They're both scary, but like the ocean, like, bro, you like for one, you gotta like be in a submarine. We can't even like get down there, right? You know what I mean? Like,
facts.
Like, no, and you can only go as far. When you get further down, it's fucking
pressure.
pitch darkness.
Yeah, you
Like,
catch a
and
ship.
that's not even at the fucking bottom. Like, we're nowhere.
Not even close.
Bro,
not even close.
We don't even know shit about the ocean. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna pick the ocean 9 out of 10 times because not only we don't know shit about it, we're very restrained, we're very handicapped. There's only so much we can do. While with a planet, we at least have prep time. We at least have the convenience of knowing what we're potentially working with. You know what we can do, whatever. Like that's why we already sent people to go to Mars and shit. And your name of donut. Like
let's go to Mars.
We took the time to. Yeah, we took the time to analyze, investigate, whatever, and now we're gonna do a Mars mission and then try to potentially make like civilization there, whatever. So like again, like I'd rather do a planet than the fucking ocean all day, every day, because mind you, this is on our fucking planet. And it's that crazy and scary.
Yeah, it's like at least we know what to expect if we go to Mars, or what most likely to expect. Like, okay, it's different planet. There's probably no life there. You know, we gotta set up some oxygen sort of capsules so we can fucking breathe. But the ocean, we don't know shit. So it's like
bro, like, literally, like
we're going in blind.
The only thing you can advocate for a planet is like, sure, maybe if there's like the surprise element, maybe something like you didn't expect, right? Like you did invest whatever. Sometimes you don't know everything. Okay, sure, but guess what? That's like a couple instances or whatever, or maybe even like interacting with a potential alien race that could either be a threat or not. But here's the difference: like the ocean, everything's a threat.
No, we don't know shit. We can't see. We don't have
bodies aren't made for it. We can't see nothing.
We're gonna end up fighting fucking Megalodon down there, dude. Fuck that shit.
Right. What were you saying, Shinobi?
What are you saying, Shinobi?
He's literally asking if we had a chance to discover either A or B, what would you choose, right? They're disregarding safety protocols, all that bullshit. If you just simply had a chance, right? What would you guys pick? I personally would pick the ocean because number one, there's only 5% discovered approximately.
Nothing.
Insane.
And the amount of biodiversity and the amount of stuff that we can like harvest from those animals could potentially like alleviate a lot of like illnesses like cancer.
Evolution, you name it, growth, humanity, And isn't that like the ironic thing, Shinobi, too? Like, isn't that ironic where like fucking space and planets where it's so much of a hassle or like all this money, like you fucking name it, you know what I mean? Like, but with the ocean, it's right there. It's right there.
We still don't know
it's a lot more convenient to engage, whatever, you know. So like, I agree with Shinobi in that, like that, in that general consensus. Like, it's like I do think you would get more benefits, but again, like with what me and Jay were saying, like it's still really, you know, like there's still so many obstacles that we have to like figure
unknown. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like but another crazy thing to add to what Shinobi's saying though is like all the time we're finding out about new species, like crazy fucking species too, where they're capable of like doing all these crazy things, hacks or whatever you name, or just having bodies that can like raw durability, and they can fucking like deal with like the insane pressures. Like,
oh my god,
that's insane, bro.
You have like some ugly ass fish that are tiny, like surviving all that pressure. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? That's crazy. Like, even even our submarines can, but these like tiny ass, ugly ass fish are able to live down there. That's crazy. Like,
I'll say this: like, if we have,
I think it's the shit not working.
Probably, yeah. Let me try.
Let's see, maybe try.
Yeah, but if it's like the capability though, to like and like we have the resources, whatever. What's it called? I do think the ocean would be pretty peak though. Like or like we'll probably get a lot more out of it because like when it comes to space, like even like again, even if we were able to travel, whatever, blah blah, like it's really just planets, and that's like a whole other thing all around. Like it's more work. So like I do agree, like at least with Shinobi, like if we had to choose and we already are granted the resources and so on and so forth, like to investigate or deal with whatever, like I do think it'd be pretty beneficial or pretty crazy.
Yeah,
And
both would
and
be
like
crazy.
and like
Yeah, for
another
sure.
crazy thing, like we don't know shit.
No, we don't
Nothing.
know
So
nothing.
imagine what we would find. Like imagine when
Yeah,
we actually like get to like
discoveries.
yeah,
Yeah,
like to the actual bottom, like what's even like what is Godzilla there or some bullshit, you know?
fucking
Like
Atlantis. Who knows what's fucking down there? Like, goddamn.
Atlantis, yeah, like
um,
so
has Boruto surpassed Ishii in power? It's unknown. I would say I would lean towards no. There's nothing to indicate one way or the other. Um, but we do know he surpassed Jigen, far surpassed him. It's possible, theoretically possible. If I had to like conclude whether or not, I'd say no right now. I haven't seen enough to conclude yes right now. That's what I would say. I'm just now getting here, but can Amado cut off Kawaki like Delta? Yeah, he literally did it in the new chapter. He turned him off, shut him off like a fucking machine. He used in this panel in the screen that you're seeing. That phrase he uses, only babble in your sleep, that's the shut off phrase, the emergency shut off phrase. And you can see Kawaki kind of shut off right here. Like he's about to kill Amado and he just shuts off. So, Musk had another scandal yet again. Oh man. Who wins, Johnny Bravo or Krong from Emperor's New Grove? Johnny Bravo has a ton. He has like cartoon logic, doesn't he? Like cartoon logic type abilities.
Toon Force.
Toon Force,
yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Toon Force.
Yeah, but Shinobi, were you saying further info on that though with the ocean thing in space?
Yeah, just simply put, there's just a lot of like unknown stuff that we can harness from animals to perhaps advance in chemical or medical procedures around the world for like society alike. Whereas with space, it's just a probability chance. It's an RNG. The most we can ever hope to discover is maybe some glimpse of civilization, but in our own solar system, that's just like the odds of that are quite low. We'd have to go to like maybe the Andromeda or something like that, to be honest. But
yeah, I agree with that.
and I think like if you had the chance, might as well do it something could like be more beneficial. That's just me though.
No, yeah, I think you're
Yeah,
right. As
no, I
far as
feel
all
you.
solar
Yeah.
system, I think yeah, you're right because our, at least from what we know, our specific celestial body, like the Earth itself, is the only one in this solar system that has like the viable chance of life. Mars is a slight chance, but we'd have to manipulate factors. But yeah, if we wanted to find another planet
Yeah.
that actually is viable, yeah, you'd have to go to an entirely different like fucking galaxy.
Yeah,
And the ocean is right here. That is true. And there's probably, who knows, elements we aren't aware of that aren't even like discovered on the periodic table,
Yeah.
species that we're unaware of,
So
just
we're finding out stuff all the
vegetation.
time, man. All the
Yeah,
time. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So the ocean would be a very good option. It's crazy we still haven't discovered, the technology to endure the pressure. It just shows the immense pressure. And then like after a certain depth, there's no sunlight that reaches the ocean no longer. It's complete
Yeah,
darkness.
that's just insane. Like
Yeah.
fucking and that's what I'm saying, like, and just to lean towards what Shinobi was saying further, like when it comes out like with the space and shit, like because I was seeing some science research and investigations on this to where the more time goes, the more further everything is getting pushed out to where like it was like around the numbers of like 96 or 98% of where everything would just be is completely out of our reach already. And
Yeah.
eventually, and in a certain amount of time, it'll just be 100% out of our reach, like just impossible to get to like even
Ever
investigate or see or
expanding.
whatever. So that's like,
Yeah.
yeah, because the universe just keeps expanding and moving. So that's another element and problem of like what Shinobi was saying is like we don't even really have like it's literally impossible to even like to do what we wanted to do to go out, investigate, travel, whatever, you name it. So that's another thing. And then not only that, I'm pretty sure it's a lot more problematic and be more hindering if we found an alien race and let's say they're way more developed than us, or don't want to fuck with us, like that could probably easily be an extinction level event
Oh, easily. Yeah.
compared to us, like if even if we found something in the ocean, at least we're on our planet, right? We can prep, we could try to fight, whatever, do
Yeah.
whatever you name it, and maybe it might even stay in the ocean, not just necessarily want to fuck with us either, like. So
Yeah.
again, I just feel like there's a lot more pros than
No,
cons, like
definitely.
comparing the two,
Yeah, much
but yeah, like
better
again, like
chances.
if we have the resources, like and we're there. You know, like if we have the resources already to, yeah, I would still choose the ocean as well.
Yeah, I'd rather. Yeah,
But
I'd probably say
as for
rather.
convenience, I feel like it's. I'm going with space though. Going to a planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might run into our version of the Tsutsuki worst case in space. Facts, bro. Literally did. Fucking the Tsutsuki aliens out there. But that question, what it illuminates, good question by Kedrick, is like our limitations as far as our knowledge.
Yeah.
Like we're bound by only what we know. The laws of physics bounded by what we know. The ocean, the space, we're very limited in what we know about the overall reality we dwell in. Even within our own biosystem, the Earth, our own ecosystem, we're still very limited in what we know.
That hinders our detective skills and analysis abilities, you know.
Yeah,
so
exactly. And so the greatest minds are aware of that. I was listening to Rogan the other day. He had a couple of geniuses he had on, like Brett Weinstein, like a really good physicist. And he's like, yeah, we don't know much. You know, when Rogan was questioning him about aliens, he's like, you know, it seems unlikely that, and he made a good point actually. He said if an alien race is able to travel light years in you know in a fraction of what light could, then why would they make the mistake of letting us see them? Why would they crash land in Area 51? Why would they do all this? What that doesn't make any logical sense to me. And Rogan was like, "That's a good point. If they're so fucking advanced,
no, it's all bullshit.
like,
Yeah, it's all bullshit. Yeah.
Now, do I think there is extraterrestrial beings? Most likely, but I think they're far more cunning than we could ever. Like, if they were able to do what we theorize, they're far more cunning than we can ever like comprehend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another possibility of it too is like, let's say it's not even that, and they're not even that developed, or let's say they're just even similar like us, you know, or whatever. Like they're just too far to even potentially engage or know about. Like that's the problem. It's
They don't have to come to us.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like they could be on the whole opposite end of the fuck. You know what I mean? You know, we just don't. You know, like, and they probably don't even have like the capability to get to us or whatever. You know? So
yeah, like he was saying, like conspiracies in general, they're fun to dwell in, which is why people entertain them. That's a good point. Like the idea of the unknown existing, or like the mysteries, yeah, like being real. It's like that appeal to emotion that it drives people to these conspiracy theories, and you know they follow the bandwagon. And that's a good point. I mean, he's right. You know, aliens are a fun idea. Fucking anti-governmental conspiracies are fun. Like all these conspiracies, you know, they're very fun. But at the end of the day, you got to logically consider.
you got to be logical.
Yeah, you got to logically consider, and you made a good point.
And another thing too, Jay, how easy would it be to spin a narrative to where like there could just be a species or something we just didn't know about that came from who knows where on Earth, right? From whether if it was the Amazon forest or the whatever that place in the ocean, Mariana Trench or whatever, or just the bottom of the ocean, whatever the fuck it is, places that we just haven't fully, analyzed, etc., the whole nine, right? And what if like there's something that comes about and we see it in the fucking sky and we're like, oh, it's an alien. Oh, it's an Area 50. Like, you know how easy it is to paint that narrative and like, and when it's actually not, you know. So like, here's the problem: unless we, the public civilians, are encountering or seeing what the fuck is in question or whatever, and we flat out see it, you know, and then sure we could derive or and analyze whatever. But if we're just gonna have to take the word of the government and all this, whatever, nah, bro, because there's always all this bullshit, bro.
A lot of bullshit. It's very obvious that the government definitely attempts to keep the population in a certain state of mind. A happy state of mind mostly. But word of mouth. There's a reason why in the legal system, hearsay doesn't work as verifiable evidence. You know, there's a reason for that. Hearsay could be flawed or wrong, or a blatant lie. It could be just fucking wrong and incorrect. So there's a reason why you gotta, I would say, look into these things further as far as you can. There's only so far we can fucking look into aliens. Anyone really.
Yeah, 100%, dude.
Exactly.
Well, I feel like, I think rationally, right? I think the government definitely, like, let's say hypothetically, right? Let's just assume or presuppose that extraterrestrial aliens are actually an actuality, right? And they hid it from the public eye for a long time, since Roswell in the 40s, due to not inciting a mass uproar or like mass paranoia, right?
Yeah.
Which I guess can make sense. especially when like the wars are going on and stuff. That's I get it, right? World War II just happened. I get it, right? But now we see like the Pentagon Papers like released a few years ago, maybe, right? And that's like supposedly like tangible proof that the public eye can now view, which is interesting to me. So it's like there is no longer a need to hide it because I just feel like there is so much pandemonia happening around the world, even within our own fucking country, for God's sakes, that it's just it doesn't really seem like pertinent news anymore. It's just something that can get swept underneath the rug in about a week because that's what social media acts these days, But on that though, I just want to ask you guys real quick on conspiracies. Like, what do you guys think about like Trump releasing the JFK papers, like officially?
Man, that's wild. I guess he is a man of his word, releasing that.
Yeah.
I definitely wanted to like take time to really study those and actually like just observe and like kind of absorb what I can. It's definitely interesting to see and understand why they were sealed for so long. It's definitely interesting. I definitely want to see why that is. I'm sure reading it
I
you'll
didn't even
find
know about that, to be honest.
that's a big one. I remember Rogan asked him about it. Rogan asked him when he was on there before he won the presidency. He's like, "Have you seen it?" He's like, "Actually, I was about to in my cabinet, I believe. I think it was his cabinet. He said, "Don't open it. Don't do it. Don't. There's a reason why you shouldn't." Yeah, and then Trump's like, "When I win, that's the first thing I'm going to do," and that's what he's done. So that's fucking crazy. I definitely want to look into it. Just my curiosity, obviously, is the reason why.
I will say this, though.
Wild.
I feel like this kind of brings in a conversation. It's one of the two distinctions. It's either we're going to be revealed a potential dark truth of the U.S. Within
Inside
the U.S.
job.
Or or that, because again, this is just common sense. There's always going to be skepticism, right? You know what I mean? And this is something that's being delivered from the government, right, or whatever you name it. So how true is it really? You know what I mean? It's like we're taking the words of like from whatever the fuck they're presenting.
Documentation.
This even goes back to the conversation of like the Bible. Like again, somebody wrote that shit, whatever, blah blah. You name it, etc. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like how true or how like competent is this scripture really?
Yeah, it's interesting why it's sealed for so long. Like that's a very interesting like question. Why is it sealed from the public? I don't understand that. Clearly there is a reason.
Exactly.
Trump, he had the power to unseal it, and that's what he's done. Someone asked Trump's inauguration, how will this affect? What's going on, by the way, Raspberry? How will this affect the Palestine-Israel situation? So Trump, I don't, at the top of my head, I'm not sure which side he sides with, if he sides with either. I'm sure he will play a hand in that and attempt to end it. I'm assuming. Kind of like the thing with Russia and Ukraine. Like he was very on top of that even before he even got in office officially, trying to establish peace. I'm assuming that's how he's going to approach this. I'm not sure. This situation in general, what I've seen from the social media interactions and the tribalism, it's very split. And I think there's multiple reasons for that. Humans are religious reasons, number one. Number two, appeal to emotion. Number three, perhaps ignorance from both sides. I will say Trump, he seems to be pro-peace in general, but this is a very specific type of situation. I don't know how he's going to approach it. Hopefully he doesn't side with one or the other. He should just try to end it, like kind of force both sides' hands and just end the casualties. That's what I would do. That is a very religiously tied, tribalistic type problem, territorial specifically. It's going to be interesting to see how he deals with that, how he approaches it. Yeah, it's one of those problems that were very common years, centuries ago when religion did drive government. The reason why the U.S. separated the church and state. But these are one of those problems that just don't really happen anymore. That's why it's so complicated. Like religious type disputes, with most first modern world countries coming to the conclusion that we should separate church and state due to bias. Religion is going to establish bias. It's just inevitable. It's going to establish tribalism. It's very, very inevitable. And we see it in the Middle East. We see it within the Middle East. radical Islamists persecuting anyone that doesn't follow them. In China, for example, China's, they'll persecute Christians. It's a problem. There is no perfect religion. It just doesn't exist. But yeah, I'm actually curious to see how he approaches that too. It's very interesting. Trump has definitely been
Yeah,
active. We could say that. He signed dozens of executive orders, some big ones as well, very significant ones. The cartel being a foreign terrorist organization, him trying to end birthright citizenship, which was denied by the judicial branch. Very, very
crazy, dude.
interesting. That's fucking crazy. Yeah, that's insanely crazy.
Dropping out of the World Health Organization as well is a bold move as well.
Very
I
bold.
mean,
Yeah, very, very bold.
yeah,
That was surprising as well. Um, he's been very
I,
cutthroat.
I'll
Very cutthroat.
I'll say this at the end of the day, like I don't know all of that like extensively or like really well enough to like really put my full thoughts into it. Like especially when it comes to like a lot of politics and things. But
Yeah,
the World Health though, I knew a little bit about that, but at the end of the day, I know it just boils down to pros and cons, just really outweighing like what
yeah.
whether if
What's
it
the
does
better
more harm
option?
than good. And I guess to keep it simple, like I'm always going to side with like obviously if there's less harm and more good, then I'm all up for it, right?
Right. Yeah.
Um, the only time I would ever be up for something that could potentially cause more harm is if it's going to resolve a really, really big issue, though,
yeah,
that we're dealing with. Like, and
Yeah.
that could be understandable, right? But it depends, So, like, overall, like, I feel like that's always going to be like a contentious area, and it could be with anything, whether if it's World Health, whatever the fuck it is. But that's just my simple mindset on it. But
Yeah.
it's
Speaking
complicated
of
though.
speaking of health, this is just a tangent, but I think
Yeah.
most people probably want to hear it. I saw the trailer to 28 Years Later. I'm sure many of you guys have seen 28 Days and 28 Weeks Later.
of course.
It's about the zombie. Well, technically they're not zombies. They're
Uh,
infected.
I haven't seen that.
Um,
No, not
yeah,
me.
it's
Like no.
basically I think it changed the zombie sort of cinematic universe,
Yeah.
because this one was very well done, even 28 Days Later. Very well done. It's not even zombies. It's essentially you get
Oh, so two things?
yeah, it's 28 Days Later, which starts it all, like, and then 28 Weeks Later is like a
Okay.
sequel.
Well, wait,
Basically,
yeah.
yes. Basically, it's like a rage
Okay.
virus, what they call it. So you get
Yeah.
infected via blood or like fluid, and you become rageful. It's kind of like rabies, but like extreme version of rabies.
Okay.
You start attacking other people, fucking biting them. The only thing is, they're not dead. They're infected, so they can die via natural means, like starvation,
Yeah.
dehydration, disease.
Okay.
Um, so people have been asking,
So you
like,
can just
how
fucking
can
wait them out, to be honest at that point.
yeah,
But
exactly. And
yeah.
the people are asking, like, how can there be 28 years later if, these things die just like humans do? I've been seeing a lot of videos on that. I definitely want to watch that movie. It's definitely interesting. Um,
Oh, so there's a third thing is getting released, basically
yeah,
what
I
you're getting
think
at.
this
There's the 28
year.
days, then weeks, and then the year. Okay, got
Yeah,
you.
I think this year it's coming
Okay.
out. I'm pretty
Like
sure.
the only thing that would make sense for the 28 years later, because yeah, logically and applying science, that wouldn't follow, right? That would be a
Yeah,
plot hole.
not the
What's
spread
it
or
called or
something.
inconsistent? Like they would have to have some mutation or evolution then. There's
Exactly.
no
Yeah.
way. Like
There's no way.
that
Yeah.
has to happen.
That's
Yeah.
basically the theory for most, the
Yeah.
fans. Like it's mutation more than likely. There's also that kid
Or
from,
people are just fucking up and not being patient, right? I mean, it's
yeah,
kind of like COVID all over again. Stay indoor,
and
whatever, blah blah fall, and they're
there's
not doing that, and then
also,
it just continues to spread.
yeah, there's also asymptomatic people. Like in the 28 weeks later, the fucking mom that gets fucking like
Uh,
fucked up, and Dawn, the main character of that one runs away and leaves his family. They all get fucked up, and she doesn't turn. She's infected, but she's asymptomatic. His stupid ass
mhm.
kisses her, spreads it again, starts to like a fucking second wave of fucking infection. He's a retard. Um,
Bro, I know.
yeah, that was the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Like, bitch, how are you gonna kiss her when she's locked up and her eyes are red? Like, that's retarded. But besides the point, that's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. That dude's a fucking retard. But so the other theory is there are more asymptomatic people out there, infected people. That's possible as well because they're not infected.
Yeah,
They still work. Like regular humans, they have the virus, but they're not fucking raging monsters, you know.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be a
And
good
if it's
movie.
just sitting there for a while and it's
Start
contested or
spreading it.
whatever, then again,
Yeah.
there's room for more spreading or
Mutation.
AKA evolving, mutation,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. That's definitely a movie I'm looking forward to. But yeah, folks. Any questions you
Where's
may
that
have?
all on though? Is that on what is that on? Amazon?
28 days later, I think. Where could you even watch it? It's
I
hard to
could I could
find.
look it up. I
Yeah.
didn't know about that. So
They're
Yeah.
hard to find, honestly. It's like not on streaming
Hmm.
services that I know.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's
They
weird that
just
they
came.
make it.
Yeah, I mean, it's went straight to years, bro. You know.
Yeah, exactly. That is a big fucking jump. I mean,
So yeah.
I think they were planning years ago, but it got scrapped. It was supposed to be 28 months later, a long time ago.
Yeah,
But
that makes sense. Okay,
yeah, I guess the
gotcha.
writers scrapped it apparently. Like that was what it was supposed to be, but whatever. I guess 28 years later, I guess. But
Oh, okay, they're movies. Okay, they're not TV shows.
yeah, they're
Gotcha.
movies.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure this one's getting a cinematic release, which is cool, I think. Um,
Ooh,
yeah, definitely gotta check that out. But this seems like a good year for film in general.
and
Superman,
game.
yeah, and
Fuck yeah,
games.
dude.
Yeah, fucking GTA, dude. Fuck. Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
It's a
these
good year.
RPGs coming out soon, man. There's like this one called Kazan, the first Berserker. It looks fucking insane, and there's like this. They're like basically, if you like RPGs, action RPGs, dude, this is the year, bro. And obviously GTA, so it's like, yeah,
Oh
you
my
can't go
God,
wrong, dude.
that's gonna be.
Yeah.
I guarantee when that game comes out, Rockstar's fucking servers will crash at least once, man. It's gonna be fucking
Oh, you know,
fucking
it's gonna be
yeah,
fucked
bro.
for a good bit. Yeah,
They're gonna get
yeah.
fucked, man. That shit's gonna be popping like I think this is gonna
Ooh,
be if it actually comes out, it'll be the biggest year of gaming since fucking probably 2013 when GTA 5 came out. Honestly, it's gonna be like the
Fun
biggest
fact
year.
though, fun fact, you guys probably be like, "What the fuck, Batman?" But fucking, I still have not beaten GTA 5 story, by the way. I need to
Holy
play it though.
shit. It is long as fuck
Yeah,
though. It's fucking
yeah.
long. It's really fucking
I
long.
know it's a fun game, so I know I'll enjoy it and shit. But like,
Yeah.
but to be fair, like to the contrary, like GTA 5 has a lot of things that you can't show on YouTube as well. So that kind of
Oh
like
yeah, there's a lot of shit.
de-incentivized me to do it. If anything,
Yeah.
I might just do it on my own time. But because I know there's like a lot of nudity and shit, and so
Yeah. It's fucking long as shit though. It is really long, the story. It's fucking shout out to the Rad Brad. When I was little and shit, I'd watch him play games. I saw him play the whole shit. I mean, I had the game, but I still watched him play it. And
oh,
it took him like 40 fucking parts. So it's fucking long as shit. I mean, it's really long. Um, but yeah, the GTA 6, it's gonna be massive. That's gonna be, man,
I
global.
love that though.
Yeah,
Like, I hate getting a game and it's just so damn linear, and it's like there's no optional missions, there's no like skill. You know what I mean? It's just like it's just
facts.
a straight line, and it's just like, cool, game's over in like I don't know, 8 hours or so. So it's like, yeah, no, GTA is where it's at, bro. You can
yeah,
do
that's
anything.
Facts.
not bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
Well, let's
the
be real. Like, not only the story is great, but it really pops off from the multiplayer. That's what keeps
oh,
it
that
like
shit's
going.
fucking
Anyways,
crazy.
like that's why GTA
Uh,
5 like didn't die because everyone just stayed on to the multiplayer, not really the story, you know.
yeah, it's
But
fucking peak.
what's it called? So like, and I would assume GTA 6 would be no less in vain. I
An
mean, like it'd
upgrade.
be along the
Yeah.
same capacity. Like, don't get me wrong, the story's probably gonna be fucking incredible. Like just like how I heard the fifth one was. But the multiplayer is gonna be what it really makes it shine. You
I
know,
hear
so.
that rumors are, this is a small detail, but I'm glad you're gonna be able to go back into fucking restaurants again, like in San Andreas, which is fire.
Hmm.
It's about fucking time because that was peak in San Andreas. I hope you can work out like you could in San Andreas, where you can get like fucking jacked with CJ. That'll be
Yeah.
fire. I'm gonna get jacked and fucking online, dude. On multiplayer, and be fucking shredded. I hope that's possible. Um, the map is
I think
apparently
it'll
gonna
be
be, I think they said 3 times as big as GTA 5's. It's gonna be like fucking gigantic. Um, so we can all be prepared for many, many gigabytes on your shit to be taken up. That's for sure. Um, it's gonna be fire. It's gonna be fucking fire. Definitely looking forward to it. And Rockstar's still steady. They're still, steady on the release date. They haven't changed it. No fucking delays. It's been fucking 12 years. So better not be any. We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. But that's gonna be peak. Probably the peak moment of the year for for gaming. So
it better be game of the year.
oh fuck yeah,
Like
it has to be 12 fucking years to make this game. God damn, dude.
12
Yeah,
years?
dude.
Yeah,
That's a
wow.
long
That's
fucking
crazy.
time. Like GTA 4 to 5, that was 5 years. It came out in 08, and then 5 came out in 13. That's 5 years. This is like over double. So,
I
god
think my
damn.
dad was like 8 or so.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that
it's like Call of Duty. It's like you don't play it for the story, really. Like, you play it
facts,
for the
facts.
multi,
Yeah,
bro.
nah.
Yeah,
Like people are gonna play
yeah.
it, but that's not the main thing we're looking for. We're
And that's
waiting
not a
for.
bad thing either. Like the
No, no,
fact that,
no.
if any, that just makes the game more impressive too. The fact that it could be like so legendary because of the
So
multiplayer, like
immersive. Yeah.
that's awesome, And like Shinobi gave a great example, like Call of Duty, because I really love the campaigns. I don't know, I know some people don't fuck with it, but I love the fucking campaigns in Call of Duty. Like I always really enjoyed them, but yeah, the multiplayer was technically where it was, right?
Peak.
That's where it was at, and that's what kept people, to play the game, So
Yeah.
like, no matter what, like it is what it is. But like, two things can be good. That's all I'm saying. Doesn't mean
Yeah, for
necessarily it's
me,
just
Call of Duty, it's been a hit or miss over the years, whether I played the campaign or
yes.
not.
Same. Yeah. I'm
Um,
referring to the
Yeah,
old ones. I'm referring to the old
yeah,
ones, and to be fair, but
the old ones definitely. I played most of the campaigns of the old times. Like Black
yeah.
Ops had a good campaign. I
yeah,
enjoyed.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that one was
World at
fun.
War, for how old that game and how
That was
great
peak.
that story, bro. From the
Yeah,
rip, like some crazy shit's happened. You're like
yeah. Even
captured by
like
Japanese and shit.
yeah, that
Like,
shit was
uh,
fire. Fucking using
yeah.
Mason and Black Ops, fucking fighting off fucking Vietnamese and shit. That shit was fire. Like that shit was fire.
I
But
haven't,
yeah,
I'll say,
multiplayer's peak.
I haven't played. Like when Warzone first came out, right? 2020 or 19 rather. Cold War, Vanguard. I haven't played a single campaign.
I'm not gonna lie,
Like
I haven't played either. I haven't played
yeah,
either.
yeah,
Nah, I haven't played any campaigns either. I'm like, fuck it. Like, what's the point? Yeah, there's no point.
It's
yeah.
been a
For,
minute. Like I'm pretty sure Battlefield campaigns. I heard a lot more positivity with them though.
I think they're more
Consistency
known
wise,
for their
yeah,
campaigns. Yeah, Battlefield.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Compared to Call of Duty, definitely.
And
Uh,
'cause I saw one a little bit, and I was like, "Damn, this shit looks good." Like graphic, everything story. Like, holy fuck! Like I thought COD was
literally.
good.
Yeah. GTA 5 came out 12 years ago. I was a sophomore in high school. Dude, I was in high school. I just started high school, dude, and that shit came out. Actually, I think I was
that's
in
crazy.
fucking middle school, like fucking 8th grade. I'm about to go to fucking high school. That's crazy, dude. Crazy.
I'm like the exception to the rule, but like when GTA 5 came out, like I didn't immediately get it or play it though. Like I was still doing other things, whatever you name it. And then once
Yeah.
like I saw a lot of my boys or friends are playing it, then I got it. I got along, played with them, whatnot, and I had fun because I was playing with other people. But I didn't never really like played it or got it just because of the hype itself or like the game itself. It was mainly just to enjoy it with other people that I knew.
Yeah, I think
So
I was
like
in the
that
same boat.
me,
Yeah.
but I'm not saying it's not a great game or anything, but it was never like I guess my forte or like criteria, I would say.
Yeah.
When it comes to like particularly playing games and whatnot, like I would normally either prefer like just a more like I guess more fictional story. Or like it'd be like other like competitive multiplayer games that I really enjoy. But so that was the thing. Like I was never crazy about GTA, the series or the 5, but I know how great of a game it was though.
Oh yeah, it's
But
fucking legendary.
I only played it for like, just for like my boys and shit, or entertainment.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Definitely a big reason why a lot of people play it. Yeah,
yeah.
it was the same thing.
And
Like I
I
played
sucked at it. That's what made it worse. I fucking sucked at it.
it.
Like my boy back then, bro, is my best bud. Like fucking, he would smoke me in that game, dude. Anytime I tried him or tried to kill him or fuck with him, bro, he'd just kill me. Now I would get
Yeah,
so
dude.
mad.
It's so fun playing
Yeah.
online, like fucking running fades with people online. It's so
It's
fun, man.
hilarious to troll people, though. I will
Oh,
say that it is
facts.
so funny as fuck to this
If you're a high
troll,
level
like
and you
run
can, and
fades of people. Yeah.
yeah, if you're a high level, like now there's like nukes in fucking GTA. You can like fucking nuke people, all kinds of shit. It's fucking crazy. It's
What the
fucking
fuck?
yeah, it's fucking bullshit. Yeah, there's like flying bikes and shit. It's like, bro, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
those are the most
I
toxic.
hate those
100%.
bitches, man. Yeah,
Like,
man.
yeah,
Like those guys are bitches that do that shit. Or those
But
like
see, but that's what I'm
little.
saying. Like I feel like for that type of things, like eventually I get tapped out. You know what I mean?
That's
Like I'm like,
bullshit.
or it's bullshit. It's like whatever, So like that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I've always been like a Skyrim person, Witcher, or horror game person, or if I'm gonna be playing any like multiplayer games, it would either be like COD or like fucking Overwatch or Rivals, just the really popular shit or whatever. Because for one, I was really good at it, and then two, like that's just particularly just my game sense and style,
Yeah.
And I love single player games, dude. Like I know some people like fuck them, but I love it. I enjoy it a lot.
I think
I feel you, bro.
facts, dude. As I got older, I think I like single player games a lot. Like great
especially
narratives.
the action one. Like bro, like Last of Us. Come on,
that shit
like,
is fire.
The replay value that game had, just how fun and great. Like again, that's what I'm saying. Like I love single player games that are like that,
Yeah.
Like, and I heard the Uncharted series is really good. I never played that. Like, there's a lot, dude. There's a lot, So.
Yeah, I think.
The Wukong, bro.
Dude, I need to get. I was seeing some gameplay of Wukong. I need to fucking get that game, dude.
Yeah, same. I gotta play that shit too.
Yeah. I gotta play that shit.
Oh, good.
Such a and I think with RDR, like when you grief people as opposed to like fucking them up on like flying bikes, you just like lasso them, you know what I'm saying? Drag them on the
oh, thanks.
Yeah. And bro, even the Batman Arkham games, like how fucking incredible and fun it was to play that, like to feel like you're Batman and shit. Like again, like that's what I was saying. Like that again. That's just my forte. I love single player games around that, action, whatever, or good storytelling, or really good emotional basis of it, And if it's not that, then I'll just stick to the popular multiplayer games that I'm really good at,
Yeah, RDR. When I was playing Red Dead, I would tie people up, go up to the mountains, and I would throw them off the mountain. That's what I can do on the game.
That's so
like, bitch,
bro.
Yeah, I'd be like, sorry, bitch.
I'm not gonna lie. If somebody tied me up and took the time to go up a fucking mountain and then threw me off, I probably would not play the game ever again. Or I would make it my mission to hunt that motherfucker.
Yeah, literally, dude. Like fucking like, bitch. Yeah, I would do that.
Which is the shitty part. Like you can try to like take him up a mountain and they'll kill himself. It's like, man, you little bitch, man. Like,
facts, dude. What the fuck? Those guys are bitches, dude.
Jay was a savage, bro. I can only imagine what he's gonna do at GTA 6. Then, oh my god, he'll probably like get some bitch like incapacitated, throw him on a train track or some shit.
Yeah, I would do that shit too. I'd tie people up, throw them in front of the fucking train,
or throw them in the ocean, let them get eaten by sharks. Like,
GTA 5, what I would do is I would get a jet and become a troll and just fucking bomb their shit until they leave. I'm like, fuck y'all, man. Over and over. You have to fucking leave the server, man. Like, fuck it. I don't know. Those guys, they did that shit to me too, though. I'm not gonna lie, man. I fucking hated that shit.
That's another component I didn't like. I wasn't like, it's like pick your poison in a way. That was another component I wasn't really a big fan of though with GTA, because like you had to put in the time in order to be a threat to people.
You had to.
I mean, like, you can't out-troll people or be more toxic if you don't put in the time or at least spend the money for it. You know what I mean? Like, and when it comes to games that have like incentive value to like, oh, if you just got money, then you're set, right? And you're unstoppable. Or, oh, if you can just not take a shower and not have a life and play for fucking 15 or 20 hours a day,
literally.
Like compared to someone that has to work, do shit, and they only have a couple hours to spare, like, that's another component I wasn't really a fan of, especially when it came to GTA 5. It's like, and it's a lot of games like that's the direction that these games are going towards nowadays, and I don't like that shit because not everybody's a fucking a full-time streamer, whatever, or or rich or fucking or has all the time in the world, like so like that's something I really hope they can figure out where they have somewhat of a middle ground. Because like there's no equity in that. Like it's just
there isn't, dude. Like there's this I haven't played in a while, but there's like these little Wally motherfuckers you could buy, and they kill you with like these little machines that shoot lasers and shit. I'm like, fuck this shit, bro. I'm leaving. I don't want to play this shit. Fuck you, man.
Like imagine you're trying to grind or get a bit, and you're just getting killed by the most outrageous fucking shit, and you can't defend yourself because you have nothing. You're in the grinding phase. Yeah, you just gotta leave the server. Like
fucking Wallies.
That's like the only thing. Like, yeah,
not even that, bro. Like online, like people like mod and like they'll like transform into like a cougar or a fucking bear and just maul you and just fucking.
See, like the Incredible Hulk, me beating everybody's ass.
Oh fuck no, dude! Oh my god, Those mods
I
on,
will say this,
dude.
didn't they get better on that though? Like they did get better and they started banning people. Like I
Yeah, I
think I
think
heard something like that, but
you'd see some crazy shit like fucking Superman flying, killing people. I'm like, what the
yeah,
fuck?
but see that's the
That's
problem. Like
crazy.
there's no permanent fix for that though, because all you have to do is just make an email, whatever, yada yada, and then go get right back
Mods
to
just
it.
go
Like
at
there's
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah, there's loopholes around it. Like it's just that's an infinite issue you're always gonna deal with. Like you
Yeah.
won't see it as common because they are pretty good at like trying to keep that away. But like you know, that's just inevitable, dude. Yeah.
PC, yeah, they're ruthless on there with the mods, man.
Oh yeah,
Fucking
PC. Yeah, console you're fine. I didn't
yeah,
have
console
issues on
good.
console,
Yeah, no,
but
no, you
PC
can't
you're
really mod.
fucked.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
fuckers like you're like Superman fucking mod. You're getting fucking smoked by Superman, Iron Man. Like, dude, that's
You know what's
bullshit.
hilarious, Jay? The only time I ever saw cheaters really on console, like when I first, and this is a while ago, was like on World at War when the game like got a couple years old, and then people had like rainbow gamer tags and that shit, like they're moving and shit, like.
Yeah.
Like I remember seeing shit like that, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like I was like, "What the fuck?" You know. But other than that, like I didn't really start experiencing cheaters or modders until like when cross-platform came out
Oh,
for like
facts.
Warzone and shit.
Bullshit.
You know, because that's when
Dude,
there was like cheaters fucking left and right. You know, but
Oh my god.
oh,
it's PC. The problem is from fucking PC. It's not
Yeah.
console.
Oh, facts. That's
Yeah.
bullshit. I
Yeah.
think what not Rockstar, Activision, they actually attempted to make it optional. I forgot on which Call of Duty to turn off cross-platform because they're like, dude, we're tired of the cheaters. We're tired of this bullshit. They're like, all right, you guys can turn it off. You don't have to worry about PC players fucking you over. I was like, it's about fucking time, dude. I'm
Yeah,
tired of this shit.
give the option at least, right? Yeah, like give that little fucking box that you can click. It goes a long way, dude, to not play with PC people and play console only. You know, like
Dude,
yeah.
like
yeah,
Marvel
dude.
Rivals, they got that really well right off the whip. You actually have the option to either play with PC or
Fuck
not,
that.
and you can just make it console only. And I love that. I think that's great. It's
Yeah, no, fuck PC,
every
man.
multiplayer game should have that fucking aspect. You know.
No facts. Fucking PC, man. Fuck
The only
that.
thing I didn't agree with though is they don't let you do crossplay and rank though. I think that was fucking stupid.
What the fuck?
Like because Overwatch, like if you at least knew a PC friend and they joined your lobby, then you could play and play in lobbies with them. Now, if you didn't have a PC friend, then you're stuck in console only in rank. And you could
Oh
do like
shit.
cross-platform if it's like player match. But for rivals, they're like, nah, fuck that, like completely. And I'm like, bro, that's stupid. Like,
Yeah, they should at
there's
least
a
give
lot
you
of
the
people that play on
option.
PC. Yeah.
Yeah, they should at least give the option. Like, if you want to, you can. If you don't, turn it off, whatever. But
Yeah, exactly.
some people are like,
Don't
fuck
get me wrong.
that.
Now, I ain't gonna be doing that. Like, if I'm going
Oh,
solo
fuck no.
or whatever,
No.
like I'm not doing that because that gives you the high risk of getting involved with cheaters and shit. But
Mods,
you know,
sweats. Yeah, no,
yeah,
fuck
fuck
that,
that.
bro.
You know,
No, fuck that. Spider-Man 2 is a
yeah.
great single-player game. Dude, Spider-Man 2 is peak single-player
Spider-Man
games.
games are just great all around. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's so
man.
good. Like I feel like it got really good from like the Web of Shadows and up. Like
Fire.
that's where it just really started fucking like peaking. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Fucking Web of Shadows
Insomniac.
is a great
Yeah.
Spider-Man movie, dude. Not movie, game.
yeah.
Like when because that was like the first Spider-Man game to really have like a main symbiote story like line.
Yeah.
Like Spider-Man 2 was the second. Web of Shadows was the OG. Like,
I
that was
remember
where you-
fucking I remember like the OG fucking Tobey Maguire Spider-Man games. They were so ass. Fucking like
Oh my
Spider-Man
god,
1,
yeah.
Spider-Man
It was
2.
so bad.
I was like, you're swinging. It
Around
looks like
its time, like people would love it, but
yeah.
like nowadays, looking back, whatever, it's just I'm sorry, but you're not
It
gonna
was
see me
so
playing that shit.
ass.
I'm not playing that shit.
Yeah.
I remember swinging. Like, what are you swinging on? Swinging on fucking air? Like, what the fuck? Yeah,
Oh
it
my
was so
god.
ass, dude.
You know,
I
it
was
was
like,
so bad. But like Web of Shadows, dude, like bro, that game was so crazy because the heroes and villains are becoming symbiotes. I thought that was
that shit
such
was
a cool
fire.
aspect of the game.
Yeah.
Like when I saw Wolverine in a symbiote, I was like, oh hell no.
Yeah,
It
there's
was
this other
great,
game.
man.
I don't know if you guys ever played it, but it was on PS2 called, I think it was called Marvel Nemesis or something like that, and it was like this storyline where fucking there's like this weird shit that if you put it on your neck, you turn into like an evil version of yourself, and the Marvel heroes are trying to fight it off or something. It was really fire, but it was on PlayStation 2, and it was fucking peak. The
Was it also
fucking
Insomniac or? At least it was Marvel,
no, I
though,
forgot
right?
what company made that game. It's an old ass game now, but it was fucking fire. I mean, like you could
Literally, dude.
box.
Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could box so well in that game for its time. It was so good. It was really, really good. But
Like combat wise, or like
yeah,
just
combat. It
like
was like Street Fighter, but like Marvel version. It was fucking fire. But
nice.
You
Yeah,
yeah,
know what would be great, Jay? You know what would be really fucking cool? Speaking of like games and shit and whatnot, like if they were to make a competent Jump Force game to where
oh
it
my
has all the
god,
animes or mangas interacting, like
yeah,
an actual competent fucking game, and to where like the rest in peace Toriyama, but he can't
facts.
be involved. But what I was gonna say is also have like the creators involved, to where like they're involved there, you know, with the
Kishimoto,
story, the writing of it, whatever you name it, and to where it could also even like potentially, it'd be nice, but if they could also like claim or consider it canon, because that would for once give us an idea to actually finally want to scale or how
scaling.
things could be, because we would
Yeah,
at least have like some idea of how certain things can interact, whatever, blah blah. You know what I mean? Like, bro, if they
yeah.
could do a game like that where the most popular anime or manga shit and they're all interacting and fighting each other, or at least trying to fight against a common villain or something, that would just be incredible, dude. That would be
dude,
so
that
great.
that game had so much potential. Yeah, Jump Force,
Just
man,
failed it. Bro, I'll never forget the trailer. It was so legendary. Like
so
everybody was like, "Oh
fire.
my god!" Like, and next thing you know, just ass. Fucking
See, like Light Yagami beating Goku. I'm like, what the fuck? No, this shit is ass.
Let's talk about a bad campaign, bro. That game probably has the worst campaign I've
Oh
ever
my
played, bro.
god, dude, it's so ass. It's so dog shit. I'm like,
How do you
dude,
fold that, bro? That's like a
the
DC all over again. How do you fold all those
that's
iconic
crazy.
characters in story?
Oh my god, dude,
Like,
it's fucking
what? Like,
so poo poo. Yeah, it was so dog shit. I played it a little bit. I'm like, this is ass. I'm leaving. Fuck
like,
this
bro,
shit,
like
bro.
when Marvel and DC had their first crossover, like they had like they had a villain from Marvel and a villain from DC like fighting each other and like affecting everything. So they had to all like work together to combat against those villains. So they eventually had a common ground, but there was points where they were like fighting each other as well, right? And it was
Yeah,
really great and it was cool, you know. But like again, like if they could do it, like it's very possible and easy to do for the fiction verse, but like that was just such an epic fucking fail, dude. Like,
that was so
and I
ass.
don't understand. Like, how do you feel that? Like, I don't get
Nah,
it.
so much
Like,
potential wasted. I'm like, that shit is ass, man. Like, only the sweats. You know, it's another game where if you sweat, you're one of those sweats tryhards. You'll take over, but yeah, man, fuck that game. That shit was
Who
a
got
waste of
time for that?
potential. Yeah, facts. Who
Yeah.
has time for that shit, bro? Like, I
like,
don't
bro,
have
like,
time to
who
do that
wouldn't want
shit.
to see Naruto and Ichigo going at like their max forms? Like, that
Oh,
would
that'd
be
be so
crazy,
peak.
bro.
Yeah, that'd be fucking
Crazy.
peak. Fucking peak. But yeah, it was a disappointment. But yeah, folks, any questions, feel free. Any questions at all? Anime, anything at all? Trump's inauguration, IRL, current events, combat sports, anything at all, really. Anything at all.
Speaking of
Film.
sports, man, my Warriors, bruh. They got
Oh
the
man.
playoffs, dog. So
Oh,
sad,
dude, the
man.
NBA this year has been very, very
Oh yeah,
interesting.
and very interesting.
Yeah, it's the NFL is about to conclude too, which is
Yep.
interesting as well. But I guess I'll say this: if Mahomes wins another chip, honestly, he's definitively the second best of all time. I'm sorry, already. I hate to
And
say it, but
in that fast, that's
that
insane.
fast.
That fast,
It's
dude.
crazy.
Brady, it took him decades, dude.
Took him decades to reach this, and this dude's doing it in less than 10 seasons. This guy's fucking. He's something else, man. I mean, Mahomes is built different.
Like, bro, if he keeps going that rate in direction, I'm sorry, but he's gonna be taking the mantle from Brady. I'm
Oh
just being
yeah,
honest with
I'd
you.
say like 2 or 3
Uh,
more chips. We're having a different
and that's just
conversation.
subjectively. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, like, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, Brady, like, whatever. But and I mind you, like me and Jay, we said it so many times. We don't fuck with Brady either. We like
Oh
there's
hell
something
no.
about him. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like him. I hate him. He
No,
pisses me
I
off.
don't fuck with him at all.
But he
Yeah.
was the GOAT. He was the best. But like this guy though, bro. Like, yeah,
This dude.
and mind you, like I don't even really care for him that much either. Like at least I don't hate him.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
hate
have
him.
anything like how I felt with Brady. But
Yeah.
at the same time, like I don't really know him and I don't fuck with him like that either. But the facts are the facts, bro. He's doing his thing.
No, this guy, like, even he had an off year too, and this dude's fucking killing it. Like, dude, it's
most people quit their
it's
New Year's
crazy. Like,
resolutions by
I think they went like 14-2 or some shit, and that's like them fucking having an off year. I'm like, dude, these guys are fucking. It's crazy. Like, honestly, it's fucking crazy to me. These guys are built different.
So yeah, I want to ask you, you too, Batman, of course, but like, Patrick Mahomes is a great example of this. But like, what do you guys think
Yeah.
about draft? How accurate they actually are? Like, how much?
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think at this point, it's pretty clear that these quote unquote top rated like recruiters get it wrong. Maybe not every time, but more than people know. Like more than people realize. They're like, oh, this guy's a generational talent, and they end up being a fucking bust. Or like, oh, this like Brady for example was 6th round. They thought he was ass, no talent, ran a 5.2, and this guy ends up being the greatest of all time. I honestly, they're not that accurate. I feel like just historically, it doesn't seem like these recruiters are that accurate, especially with like these skill positions, like wide receivers, QBs. They don't get it right very often. If I'm being honest, at least that's what it seems like historically. It seems like as far as defensive positions, they seem to be more accurate with that. I feel like it's an easier position to gauge, like a D end or like a linebacker, like you need more tangible stats there. But when it comes to skill positions, like especially QB, receivers, there's a certain thing you can't measure. Like Brady, there's something about him you can't measure. Like
Yeah.
like intangibles, his greatness. Mahomes, like there's guys that come out of nowhere too that just dominate the game that weren't meant to. Even receivers like Antonio Brown wasn't never meant to be like a top all time great and stuff like that. It's really bizarre. I wouldn't take the recruiters what they say isn't end all be all. You just never know. Um, you really never know. It's really interesting. But yeah, over the years I've noticed they're not that accurate with what they with like what they project these guys are going to become. It's interesting to see that, but yeah, I've
Yeah,
definitely noticed
100%.
that.
I think Patrick Mahomes was, I don't know, 9th overall pick, for example. We've already seen how great he's become and
Yeah.
still becoming.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Michael Jordan, right? Wasn't even first overall pick, right?
Oh,
Crazy.
no.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, exactly.
Steph Curry, right? I mean, like he was like, I don't know, 32 or something. Klay Thompson was a lottery pick. Draymond was a 4th rounder. Like the list goes on, dude. But I
Yeah.
agree with you completely. It happens in multiple sports where like projections can like give you a good you know what's crazy is like people thought Ricky Rubio was gonna be better than Steph, bro.
Facts,
Anyways,
dude. The fuck. Yeah.
based off draft. But anyways, like it's just like you have like LeBron being picked first and stuff. It's like that's understandable. You know what I mean?
No,
That
yeah,
actually
yeah.
does hold out to be true. But it's just like, yeah, I just think it's an interesting thing, like for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, and it's there's more than meets the eye with like what makes a great athlete. It's very, very interesting.
Mhm.
Curry was supposed to be like a subpar, like just
Yeah,
average player, and now he's one of the greatest to ever do it, and the best shooter of all time. That's definitive. He's by far the best to ever shoot a basketball as far as shooting is concerned. Um, but yeah, it's very interesting to see that. But Jay, how do you think Naruto will react to everything that's happened after he leaves the dimension he's in? So assuming he does, let's say he like breaks out or Kawaki changes his mind, lets him out. He's going to be utterly shocked probably of what's taking place. Um, with these Shinju being out here, and he's gonna be very shocked at what's happening. The fucking plot twist, assuming it doesn't, assuming Ida's omnipotence doesn't immediately take effect on him, it's going to be a hell of a fucking enlightenment for him and Hinata. It's not going to be a pleasant experience for him. Do you think Shikamaru
I
is a
think
modern?
that
Yeah,
for
like
sure on the manga. Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Do you think Shikamaru is a modern day Tobirama Hokage? No, I don't think he's a modern day Tobirama. He is. Here's the thing. It's hard to compare him to Tobirama. One, he's not discriminatory towards a group of people. There's that. Tobirama was. Secondly, Shikamaru is in a weird position because there's been a global brainwash, right, by Ida, and Shikamaru being as intelligent as he is, has come into the realization that his memories are perhaps a lot, they're deceiving him, his own memories. And Boruto is actually an ally. So he's secretly working with Boruto, going against, Konoha Protocol, going against the bureaucracy, even losing trust in some of his friends because they still believe their memories to be true. Like, Ino, for example.
That's very impressive for Shikamaru. That just goes to show how intelligent he is, though, man.
Very,
That's
very
crazy.
intelligent. Yeah, that's an intelligence feat right there. Amado did the same thing, but he's built different. I'm not surprised.
Wait, Jay, though, that does give me a question, though. It's separate, though, because I'm around like Shikamaru is that guy in many ways, but do you think he should have been chosen as the Hokage compared to everyone else, though? 'Cause that was always a question I saw around everywhere.
I think the by far the best pick. I mean, we haven't seen him in the manga. It would have been Kakashi, but yeah, I don't know. He's just not even present. He's never been present in the manga at all. Still hasn't.
Lame, dude.
Fucking lame.
That's lame.
Yeah, it's lame as hell. I do not understand that. Then you have Tsunade. She's still alive. I'm pretty sure. There's her.
Bro, like Sakura would have been a very good candidate.
Sakura,
like she has the 100 healings, like fucking like, and she never got any like significant nerfs. Like she was even comparable. Like I'm not saying she's exactly like Sasuke and Naruto, but she was comparable relative, right? Like to them, like around a certain point. Like I think it was when like during that whole Shin arc and shit, all that whatever. And that was her not even using the 100 heals, bro. Like, so like you give her that, like. Again, we see Tsunade as an example. Like, I don't understand why she wasn't picked. Like, that just makes way more logical sense. That's like comparing Shikamaru, who's like Kakashi, right? Like a Jonin, whatever, Asuma, and then you have Sakura, who's Sonin tier, right? I feel like that's kind of like the discrepancy you're picking between, and like it's like why?
It's bizarre. It'd be like fucking Tsunade. It would have been the equivalent of when Tsunade got fucking sick and shit, was in a coma or whatever. Well, after the pain arc, it would have been like them fucking bringing in fucking what's her right hand? The chick's name again? I forgot her fucking name.
Yeah, I know you're talking about that. The pig, of course.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
it starts with like Shizuin or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I forgot her. She's such fodder, but that would have been the same thing. The only reason they picked Shikamaru is because he was the right hand man of Naruto. That's not a good enough reason. Like, yeah, he's fucking smart, but that's not a good enough reason to fucking put him in.
No, that's and that also that contradicts the entire narrative of Naruto, though, technically from part 1 to Shippuden and so on, because the whole point of the fucking Hokage role is not only do you need like the wisdom and like the intellect aspects of to be a Hokage, and that's why Naruto wasn't immediately promoted, because that's what he lacked. But you also need the power realm as well.
Yeah,
Shikamaru lacked the power.
Heavily.
He's not like don't get me wrong, like he's strong to a certain regard, like he is impressive in certain, because I think he even had like certain feats against like the aliens, if I remember correctly, like the shadow whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But that was him like fucking shooting his shadow possession, like, and then he catches him. It was more of like an off guard moment. It's not like he speed blitzed him. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. It was like guard moment, and then what do? They just absorb it, and now he's useless. You know what I mean? Like, again, like the problem is like Shikamaru, he lacks power, and that's not, I'm not putting him down for it because there's only so much he can do, right? Like it is what it is. But
against gods,
his chakra and stamina levels are really fucking bad too. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's just overall, like when it comes to the power aspect, there's nothing remotely at all to substantiate that he would need to be the candidate. Like
there's multiple candidates.
Like Kakashi is still around, Sasuke is still around, fucking Restano and everything, Sakura, who has great chakra and stamina, especially because the 100 healings, incredible chakra control. Like again, I feel like this is way more logical, like solutions or picks to where they also not only have the intellect aspects, but they also have the power to balance. Because the whole thing is about balance. You need to have both parts, and even the tuning exams like really emphasize that a lot too, where it was like, oh, it's not just about having power, you need intellect, and if you only have intellect, then you need power, you need both, right? So again, like it's just that's why I thought that was really weird, and everybody was giving him shit for it. They're all saying, oh, Shikamaru's Hokage, oh yeah, the village is doomed, they're fucked, like, because what is he gonna do?
Like what is he gonna do? Like it's very bizarre.
Like, he's good for an advisor. That's fine for a military strategist. Like look at Shikamaru's dad. through the whole narrative. That man was the crutch for wars, for politics, policies. That's great, right? Because that's what he would be best at. But to put him in a position where he might need to give his life and defend the village, he can't do that.
Nah, he's not built that way. It was a strange choice. Maybe it's just plot convenience. Who knows? But I don't know.
Like Amado, like I would at least be more understanding if it was Amado, which it would never happen. But at least he does have the intellect capacity to just use intellect to also still like do favorable in battles or whatever. But Shikamaru is not on that level. That's the problem.
No, he's not on that level.
Like he can't build robots. He can't fucking, you know what I mean? Like, so again, like if his intellect is not on the level where he can combat against high level threats, there's no logical reason for him to take on the role that literally is you being the role to protect. You know, like
exactly.
So
I also just like as a fan, right, of Naruto, like I really appreciated the Hokages just always having some sort of like relationship with one another, maybe through bloodline or a sensei or an apprentice of sorts. Like they're all connected in some way or another. Shikamaru is just like so like forgotten in this story for so long, and so it's just
a random side character, bro.
No.
I don't like
Shinobi. Tobirama made sense. He was a senju. He already had like really good stamina and chakra reserves. He created all these forbidden. The brother Hashirama, like all of that makes sense. Not Shikamaru.
No, there is no like ties. There's no ties.
Like, you don't see Shikamaru spamming flying Raijin and all this shit, and but like, bro, like
it's a weird, it's a weird appointment, honestly. It seems Trump is
like completely, bro. It's just like, why, dude? You're really a good story.
No, but another thing too, Shinobi, like I don't know if you agree, but like, doesn't it like kind of feel like a slightly disrespectful to like Sasuke or Sakura for like good arc development or character development? Like, like Sasuke would that would have been fire if they went the route to finally make an Uchiha like Hokage, which would even make Satoru even more like motivated, you know, like.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I think Sasuke's a good like undercover Hokage, Shadow Hokage, like
makes sense.
That's perfect for him, bro. I would love to see like more of his like missions after the war arc, right? Like see that development of him as a character, seeing him get released from the Konoha's like jail and Kakashi releasing him all like that'd be sick, bro.
And that's the thing too, like, and that's why, like, with Sasuke, it's at least understandable for them not to immediately make the go-to, and that's for many reasons. Like you said, like him typically being the Shadow Hokage, because that was always a thing that's eventually like built within Konoha. Like you have the Hokage, and then you have the Shadow, right?
Exactly.
So, and that's fine. Like, and then on top of it, like, then it doesn't help where discrimination could potentially still be, you know, a factor as well. And then 3, especially his history, his resume isn't that great. But
literally.
But regardless, like I'd still think like it still would have been very interesting if they went that route. And the audience would probably fuck with it and be like, oh, this is actually pretty fucking cool, because we've seen Sasuke be the Shadow Hokage for a hot minute. You know what I mean? For a good while, you know, like we know Boruto is like trying to take the role in those steps as well. And better yet, like even Kashikoji, he's technically a Shadow Hokage as well. So like overall, like I feel like we have enough of it as of now, or people that can substitute to where it still would have been valid for him to take the role. You know what I mean? And it would have been really fucking cool. Like I think it would have been great. And worst case, if not him, then do fucking Sakura. Like I don't understand.
That would have made sense too. Yeah,
dude.
There's a direct tie to Tsunade. You know, she's literally her protege.
Apprentice, like everything, 100 healings, fucking everything. Like it doesn't make any fucking sense remotely at all. So
yeah, it is bizarre. You think Trump will continue the wall? He has a hard time getting funding from Congress. I'll say this round of elections, you know, the conservatives, the Republicans took over the House. They have the majority. Congress as well. They have the majority. Trump is appointing
even the Supreme Court people, like
it's heavily conservative. So his legislation and policy will have a much easier time going through than before. So there's a possibility the wall will continue. Now, obviously,
it's crazy though, Jay, because like that's a lack of equity though. If it's like completely one or controlled by one area, whatever, like Like, I would assume they earned it fair and square. I don't know all the information, whatever, but you would think like exactly. There'd be balances like to where there's each party involved this way. Like again, like it's a fair council, or council.
I'll say
that always threw me off. Like I never understood all that. But
I'll say this at least. Like despite like the bipartisan system, there's still things he can't do. Like the executive order you try to have ending birthright citizenship, they still denied it. The judicial branch said like, nah, what the fuck is this? This is unconstitutional. Like you're trying to end that shit. That's crazy. Yeah, I think I said this earlier. One of the judges that gave the decision, he's like, in all my years, I've never seen a fucking decision so clear to make. I was like, God damn. He's like, it's unconstitutional. I'm not gonna fucking pass this shit.
It's an amendment, bro. Like, what are you talking about?
That was bizarre. Like, that one didn't make sense to me. I think like what he was trying to do with that is end like illegal immigrants coming and giving birth here, but that's still like, here's the thing, logically that doesn't make sense because you're blaming that birthed individual. It's not his or her fault that they're fucking born on American soil. You can't like punish them for that.
Yeah, that's not. And they're a citizen. If they're born here, they're a citizen. That's just like that's law.
Yeah, like I get it. You're gonna deport their parents or whatever, but you can't blame the fucking child for that. That I don't understand that. I disagree with that. That is unconstitutional. I do.
Yeah, and most importantly, what if the child loves the U.S. and they don't want to leave?
Yeah, it's bizarre to me.
It just doesn't, like the only thing I could at least be understandable of that is like, let's say they're not old enough to take care of whatever, blah blah. Then like that is going to be kind of traumatizing or suck because then their parents being deported and now they're literally stuck in the U.S. with no parents. Like that shit fucking blows and sucks. But I will say this: at least eventually, at a certain point in time, they will have the ability to make the decision to either go where their parents are.
Yeah, exactly.
Just stay living in the U.S.
They're at least like in the land of opportunity where they're born. Yeah, it's trying to remove that.
And that's a big deal because let's be real. There's some countries that are really fucked, dude. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like where it's like a death sentence really just going there or whatnot.
There's a reason why like these guys are desperately trying to come here. You're like Mexico.
There's reasons. Like people talk shit about the U.S. all the time, but you wonder why there's a lot of immigrants coming over here.
Yeah, influx of them. Like it's the most. I think it's statistically the most immigrated to country in the world. I mean, it's fucking. Yeah.
There's so much diversity and freedom here. That's why.
Yeah, so much diversity. The First Amendment. I think people that live in a Western civilization don't realize how rare something like the First Amendment truly is in the world. Yeah, like look at fucking China, look at Korea, look at even Russia. Like, dude, you can't say shit.
It's bad. Yeah, no, you can't, bro. You'll either get arrested or you get killed.
Persecuted. Yeah, arrested, killed. Fucking incarcerated.
Like North Korea, they were killing people for playing music from the U.S.
Facts.
In public execution too. Like,
China, they're incarcerating people for having like if they see a Bible, they would incarcerate them. Like, dude, what the fuck? Like, here you could basically say whatever you want besides obvious shit like threatening people and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can't say I'm gonna bomb or whatever. Like, this is like logical, reasonable shit. Like at the end of the day, here, like you just have like tremendous amount of freedom. And diversity, and to like at least be embraced to be potentially accepted. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like the only thing that's not perfect is freedom of speech. That's still
it's not perfect.
Like very ongoing because like let's be real, like they're always either like unless it's convenient and benefits their agenda, then it's okay. You know what I mean? But if it's not, then therefore you're not allowed. Whatever. It's like there's a lot of issues going on nowadays. Like God forbid you disagree with something or whatever. Then there's that. But either way, you can at least again still speak or say things without being arrested or killed. That's the main point.
Yeah, that's a major.
The only thing that could happen is like you're losing your business or you're getting like some defamation bullshit. Or you at least still are able to improvise and figure it out, right? It's still fucked and sucks, and it's still a very big problem. I'm not denying that. But it's a lot better than being arrested or fucking killed.
Oh yeah, definitely better than an alternative. Any people would choose this any day over that fucking shit. Yeah, any day over the CCP. Fucking...
Look at Fresh and Fit. Like, they dealt with all the bullshit with freedom of speech, but guess what? Because they have the ability to improvise and still figure out, they're still making it work, and they're making millions, whatever, blah blah.
Rumble,
they just went to a different platform, Rumble, whatever. YouTube, they operated it and are like playing a chess game with them, basically. Like, so again, like you can still figure it out. It doesn't mean it's over. With those countries, it's over. You can't.
Yeah. You're fucked. Yeah, you're losing your life over there. And here's one thing that I saw, and this is Mark Zuckerberg. He went on Rogan's, and basically Facebook is much more free speech now than it was a couple of years ago. So Mark Zuckerberg, he kind of went the Musk route as far as free speech. I don't think he's allowing as much, but he's allowing much more. Yeah, he's not allowing like fucking anti-Semitism and racism and all that shit, but he's allowing a lot more, which is W. You know what's funny? A huge reason for this change was probably because of his interest in combat sports. You know, like it seemed like it changed him, jiu-jitsu specifically. He started doing a lot of that. And it just changed his character. Like he sees life differently. His perspectives changed. His idea of fairness and equity's changed. And you know, combat sports does that for you. It changes your perspective, shows you values that you could take into everyday life, not just when you're fighting somebody. So Mark Zuckerberg. Definitely W.
Another thing too, Jay and Shinobi. I don't know if since we're talking about all the Trump crap or whatever, I heard some policies and I saw a little bit on Twitter that he was doing some things towards like trans or certain things like all that. Like, what's the validity behind all that? Or there's the other thing I saw that was also to where like if it's something about like where there only be like male or female sex, and then when you like read into it or some shit, I heard that like it's based upon like at the birth of conception that you're this sex, and if that is true, that wouldn't make any logical sense because that would make us all female. Then that doesn't make fucking sense.
I saw that.
I don't know. I heard a lot about all that.
One thing I did see is that he's eliminating Pride Month and he wants to replace it with Veterans Month. Like, which I don't see a problem with Veterans Month. And
let's be real, veteran is way more important than I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry. It is. I'm not saying they ain't important either, whatever, but if we're being real, like who's actually giving their lives, sacrificing, you know what I mean, whatever,
real
blah,
sacrifice.
blah, going through the trenches, you know, real, like, come on, I don't want to fucking hear it. You know,
it's like saying it's like saying we need it.
Prioritizing straight people, like fucking straight people, or traditionalism over the veterans. I wouldn't do that either. No, veterans would also prioritize traditional or straight motherfuckers, whatever the fuck you call that.
Yeah, you know? It'd be so like us having a straight month or some shit. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, that's retarded.
Why the fuck do I? Why do I care?
At least with the LGBT, like it makes sense because they went through like, you know, a lot of harsh or discriminate, whatever, blah blah, you name it. Yeah, and persecution. Yeah. So like at least it makes sense. Same thing with like black, you know, or the female stuff, whatever, blah blah. Anything that ever had like, you know, discrimination or like no rights at a certain point, whatever. But like, you know, but again, it's still the point still remains because we could easily just have like a fucking thing for straight whatever blah, and we don't, you know.
Yeah, that would be fucking
retarded. So if we're trying to compare and contrast that to veterans, like no, like it's veterans. That's no matter what, way more like, bro. I'm gonna say it again, like. These are people that literally had to break their bodies, go through all these training, fitness, whatever, be deployed, etc. Like everything they do, like be restationed, whether they had a choice or not. So like they're being forced to be away from their family and friends. You name it. Like this is nothing but pure sacrifice, just so they can not only make a living, but they can also be with, you know, for the country, whatever, and for us to be able to do what we're doing. You know.
Yeah.
So
honestly,
like, at the end of the day, you can't. That's like trying to compare a fucking citizen in Konoha to like a ninja. Like, come on, what's more important?
Can't.
You know? Like,
that one, I think, honestly, the vast majority of Americans would agree with. Like, if we had to choose between the two, the vast majority is going to say, "Oh, veterans deserve a whole month." You know, that's an easy choice.
I'm going to be honest. They can make it a lot more simple and to where it's a win-win for both sides. Where you just have a month for veteran and then a month for, you know.
Yeah, they could do that
too. But let's be real. Trump, like he doesn't fuck with any of that at all.
Nah, he's not gonna do that shit.
You know, like and I think the lore behind it too was it was something to do with like. From what I heard, it was something like he was with like this one chick or whatever, and something went wrong. Like it was something to do like either with them being gay or trans. I don't remember, but it was something along those lines, and like it really pissed him off, like how everything ended. And ever since he's had like a really bad look on the communities, whatever you name it. It was kind of like basically like a personal bias, you know.
Yeah, so, I think he's trying to eliminate like pronouns and like alternate genders and all that shit. Like he's trying to get rid of all that.
I'll say this for the pronoun stuff and all that, whatever. I would have to look further into it, but whenever I just hear about it, it just sounds really silly to me. I don't really understand. I don't understand the relevance. I don't understand why like we're making it so complicated or diverse. Like all I ever knew from me, like from my knowledge, was him and she, right? Like that's all I knew. Like it's just
entitlement.
And next thing you know, now I'm hearing like cis and this and this and like all kinds of shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what are we doing here?
Honestly, it stems from entitlement. Like someone wants to be referred to something specific, like, oh, I'm entitled enough to where you have to call me that. I'm like, no, you're not. I don't have to call you shit. So if you're respectful, sure, for having a nice conversation, I'll call you.
Yeah.
What other fuck am I calling you?
But to be like egotistical and make and label an expectation like, oh, like this is just
like, oh, you're legally obligated. No, I'm not.
Yeah, like that's stepping. That is stepping a line, and that is disrespectful because you're not being considerate of the other person's feelings. Like and like it goes both ways. Is what I'm saying. Like it's very one-sided. And that doesn't make sense. Like that's like any of us like making certain demands or whatever. Like, oh hey, this is just an example. I'm not saying like this is, but like, oh hey, I'm a fucking giraffe. So if you don't fucking see me that way or respect me, like therefore, like fuck you, whatever. Like that's really dumb.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
it's like if you don't call me, if you don't call me a non-binary demigod, I'm calling the cops. Like I don't. What the fuck?
Like, or if you don't call me like Spider-Man, you know what I mean? Oh, like I'm part of the spider. Like come on,
part of the
man.
Spider-Verse.
Like it's one thing if the person's like being respectful about it, like hey, like this is how I feel, whatever, blah blah. Like
that's different.
At least, whatever. Like at least someone can be understand, even if we think it's stupid or dumb or whatever the case may be, or may not even agree with it. At least it's common courtesy, and you're like, okay, we're having middle ground here, whatever, cool, right? But no, what it has been nowadays, the mentality is like, oh no, this is just what it is, and if you don't like it, then hit the road. And it's like, bitch, who are you? Like, what?
Facts. What the fuck? Like, I don't have to call you shit.
Why do I have to respect you to this extreme degree when you're not giving me the same fucking courtesy? Like,
it comes back to free speech. Like, you can't obligate me to call you something, buddy. Like, the fuck.
What I'll say, just real quick about all this, like, it's a fucking nutshell and a half to crack open, man. Especially nowadays with how radical we are. But I really think that like people rarely can have a medical condition called like chimerism, where like they can actually have two sexes. That's a very rare example, right? For the most part, science objective.
Shinobi, you know what's funny about that? The exception to the rule dictates reality, but people can never understand that's not how that works. It's not what it is.
And so I as a president trying to like make a law that like conforms to the general public, bro, like just go based off what science provides us.
Yeah.
Which is like, I mean, like we get chromosomes. That's how we identify our
biologically
sex development biologically, like you're saying. So it's just like, dude, just like stick to like what nature provided. If you subjectively want to call yourself this, that's fine. But like you guys are saying, don't virtue signal, because like then I want to be like, well, I'm an elephant. Say something. You know what I mean?
Literally.
But wait, what does virtue signaling mean again?
It's basically
when you're trying to project your own like subjective beliefs upon someone else, regardless if they don't like it or not. You know what I mean?
Okay, gotcha. And honestly, I don't disagree at all. Like again, it's just very like one-sided, weird bullshit. And it's like Shinobi said, like things are so much more simple, and now it's just so fucking like it's so complicated. Everyone is sensitive Sallies or very emotional or just constantly interpreting and always assuming the worst in people. Like it's just so fucking weird nowadays.
Like I saw this retarded video, and it honestly. People get insulted. It is what it is, because reality is reality. If it insults you, then it is what it is. But I saw this retarded ass video of these fucking retards saying like, if you are trying to lose weight because you want to get healthier, you're fat phobic. I'm like, you know what, bitch? I am fat phobic, because I don't want to be a fat fuck and die young. The fuck you talking about? Fucking fat phobic. They're all like offended that you're trying to live healthier, bro.
I guess doctors and the medical system,
I guess we're all fat phobic
as well when they're literally explaining the facts, the science behind why you don't
it's the
want,
dumbest shit.
Like
you see like these fat, nasty ass people. Like, if you try to lose weight, then you're offending me and you're fat phobic. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna offend you then. The fuck you talking about? I'm gonna fucking die young, bro. The fuck's wrong with you? The fuck, like, bro. Get therapy. Get help.
I watched this video of like these people were like in like a group call, and it was like this like gay fat group. I don't know what the hell it was, bro. And this like guy enters a Zoom call, and he's like a skinny white guy. He's like, Yeah, I identify as like I can obviously troll him, but it's just like the funniest thing ever, dude. It's just like, bruh, he's dead ass too. You know, you can't say anything about it these days, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just
That's so
No,
stupid.
it's ridiculous, bro.
Dude, that
But,
shit
like,
is, I was
like
I was
all I'll
crying
say,
watching
like,
that shit, dude.
yeah,
That
like
was
no, but
crazy.
here's the funny part. Shinobi was mentioning science, whatever, blah blah. Here's another crazy thing. I keep hearing people that are advocating for certain things, whether if it's like pronouns or whatever, blah blah. Like apparently, where they're saying, "Oh, there's science that also defends that as well." Like that there's science and like the facts,
That's
and
bullshit.
whatever, so
What
on
the
and so
fuck?
forth.
oh,
Like, but I always get confused on that because like one side is saying, "Oh, this is the science and the facts," and I'm aware of the first side, right? Which is like where it was
Yeah.
clear, like there's male and female, the chromosomes, whatever, blah blah, you name it, right? And then next thing you know, that then there's like this other second side where they also have science and facts to defend why trans is okay, whatever, blah blah. Like I've always wondered, like, what is the science behind that or the facts? Because if there's something conflicting, that doesn't make sense. That's like saying there's two leaders in a relationship. No, you can only have one leader, right? You
They're
know,
bullshitting.
so like,
no
what is
science,
what? You know, like
there is no science more dominant than the science we've had that's been established for centuries of with centuries of literature. Not stupid ass people saying, "Well, I identify as like shut the fuck up." There's centuries of science that indicate that you're a male, and if you don't think you're a male, then you get a problem. It's that simple. Like, it's really that fucking simple.
I don't know. I was always curious because like Shinobi said all that, but yet that's always the counter argument I've been hearing a lot lately. Where there's science behind it and facts, and you're just disagreeing with facts. And it's like,
what science, buddy?
And then they'll like be sending the articles or whatever, like and all this stuff.
Bullshit ass, fucking bullshit.
Articles like cap resources, like get the fuck out of here, dude. Like I was saying, like there are multiple conditions where like yes, you can have multiple genders, but like dude, that's an exception, 1 out of 1,000,000 type shit. Do not let that generalize your view of science. It's not how the world works.
Yeah, I was listening to Joe Rogan talk about this. He made a good point. He's like, so you mean to tell me that, actually being, multiple genders is like 1 in 1,000,000, but these celebrities have like 3 or 4 kids that are all somehow, quote unquote, identifying as transgender. Like that blows my mind. Like, you're telling me you have 4 kids that identify as transgender and they're like 5, 6, 7 years old. They could identify as Spider-Man one day and a unicorn the next, but they're identifying as transgender? Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, that's 100%.
Oh, what the fuck? That's crazy. 4 kids. Okay, buddy. You got it, man. You got it.
Like, you got it.
You got it. Like, you're clearly not virtue signaling and using your children for political motives.
Like, I searched, like, are there multiple genders for humans? And, like, the AI overview came and it said, yes, like, there's multiple genders for humans. Gender is a person's internal sense of identity. So that is correct.
God.
And that... Like, in that regard, a person's internal sense of identity, yeah, sure. But see, here's the clear catch, what everyone fucking disregards. In the end, it says, and it can be different from their biological sex. That is the separate distinction.
Yeah.
Biological sex, no, it's male and female. But if you're talking about, like, a person's internal sense of what they presume themselves to be or their identity, then yeah, right? Because we can think of us being whatever the fuck we want, like that's imagination at that point.
I'm a unicorn. Like stupid ass shit.
That's what people are like. I just literally just read it just now. Like it's saying in regard of what our internal process of like what we think, right? But it can be different from their biological sex. And so when people try to argue and rep that, like, oh, that takes triumph over your biological sex, or therefore like biological sex is whatever, but it's like, no, that's not how that works. You still have a biological sex that you're born as. Like that's just science.
Most logical people will agree with that. It's just like these extremely radical, self-entitled, bizarre, delusional people that like, oh, that doesn't matter. I'm a unicorn. Like they're fucking dying on that hill. Like, dude. You have mental issues.
Jay, when you read further, like it says examples of gender identities, not biological sense, gender identities. Okay?
Exactly.
So okay, well that doesn't make sense. It says male is a gender identity, female is a gender identity, which I would disagree because that's biological. But anyways, then the next one is transgender, gender non-binary. Apparently, it's a gender identity. Gender queer, whatever the fuck that is.
What is that?
Gender, whatever that is. Pan gender, whatever that is. Gender fluid, whatever that is. So,
Oh
like,
my
again,
God.
if we're talking about under the concept of like you identifying yourself and not biological, sure, absolutely, by all means. If you want to think you're this, whatever, believe, you do you. But if we're talking biological, then no, it would just be simply
That's
male and
fucking
female. That's
yeah.
it.
And here's the thing, like in biology, if I'm not mistaken, gender and sex, as far as semantically, those they coincided with each other for so long, but now
Yeah,
Mhm.
because of these delusional
but now they're
self-entitled,
separate.
yeah, because of these delusional self-entitled, some of them mentally ill people, they want to like separate that to satisfy their need for self-entitlement. Like, oh, I might be male, but I think I'm a unicorn today. Like, it has to be this way. Like, no, it doesn't. But you know what? Because we live in the first world country where we have first world problems. Go ahead. By all
Oh,
means. It's
let me
it's
ask you guys this
bizarre.
though, right? Because like Batman did bring up a point that I was like thinking about before too. How about like,
Yeah.
the reason why we even have a Pride Month in the first place is because they have undergone a lot of years, right, to say the least, of persecution,
Yeah.
bigotry, or you name it, right? So it's like I understand that, etc. But it's like, do you guys feel like this is happening now and only now because it's such a desperate cry to just finally be accepted? And like racism was literally like 60 years ago or so. You know what
Yeah.
I
Not
mean?
that
Like
long ago.
this kind of like melting pot that we see today hasn't been like this for that long at all. So it's like I'm just thinking in like a global time sense, right? 60
Right.
years, you know what I mean? It's just like, is this
Right.
something that will fade relatively soon in your guys' opinion? And I
I
mean,
think.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
just
I think. Yeah. I think there are multiple factors that would determine that, like it fading. I think, honestly, this election, not to even sound like cynical or drastic, but it was very pivotal in as far as ideological sort of evolution in the United States. This election was huge,
Mhm.
honestly. If Kamala's dumbass would have won, we would have continued with the delusions. Biden's old ass, he made a fucking mess. Um, Now with Trump's not perfect. I'm not saying he's fucking Jesus Christ incarnate. He has
No,
flaws
he
too.
has many
Yeah, many,
issues.
many
Yeah, many.
flaws. As far as but
His thing's more in the moral line of things, though. That's
yeah,
the
like
difference. Like
logically,
he, yeah,
yeah, he's
yeah.
much more valid logically in his policies than old ass, senile ass Biden and Kamala. She's tripping
Because
too.
here's the thing, Jay. I feel like the biggest issue in our world, there's a really big distinction. It's the understanding of morality and then the
Yeah,
understanding of reality. Okay.
yeah,
So like, and what I mean by that is, sure, like if we're talking about things morally speaking, yeah, sure, that probably is not, good, whatever, blah, blah, you name it, right? Like we probably wouldn't agree, like, so on and so forth on that. But when we're talking reality and how reality responds to things and how that is and whatever, and talking along that mannerism, that is completely a whole other thing. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is, right? That's just the
yeah,
facts, right? And that's what people always like don't understand and realize and always try to connect it to, but they don't connect. Reality and morality do not fucking connect. Those are two
nah,
separate fucking,
yeah,
like
yeah,
no matter what, I'm not saying it's right, but no matter what, there's always going to be acceptance issues with gay people or trans people, or even black people, whatever.
right, yeah,
And there's always going to be discrimination to a certain degree, whatever, because again, that is reality. I'm not saying it's right. It is
yeah. It's a
wrong. I
reality.
mean,
Yeah,
whatever. If someone wants to be what they want to be, think whatever, cool. Let them do them, whatever. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with them being happy, whatever. But at the end of the day, if we are speaking reality, people just don't fuck with that. There's going to be people that don't like
prejudice.
it,
Yeah,
whether if they just purely hate them or if they just disagree with it, right? And they don't
right.
even hate them, but they just disagree with it. And
Yeah,
that's what people don't understand. They can't ever distinguish the two differences between morality and reality. It's that
yeah.
fucking simple. It's
No,
really
that's a good
simple. And
point.
Trump operates on the function of reality and not really to appeal to the function of morality and
Right,
so on and
yeah.
so forth.
That's a good point
So,
because yeah, like Trump, he is very logical, obviously. Much more than the former administration by far, honestly. But yeah, morality wise, a lot of what he does, can can be debated upon. Is more, morally our compasses these days, as far as universal standards, we all agree, like the Ten Commandments, we all agree on that. But when it comes to more nuanced things, there's just tons of division. especially with like these ideological beliefs, sex, gender shit, and all this bullshit. Immigration policy. It becomes so nuanced that morality it creates division. Trump's divisive. He is divisive because he's very set on his ways.
Like he
What
doesn't
he
care about
believes
your
in.
feelings. He does not
Yeah,
care about
he does
morality.
not. He does
He
not.
doesn't.
His goal is to push what he believes is right, but he's very stuck in one way. He's not very he's not good at delivering rhetoric that can be interpreted differently. Like he's very blatant and like to the point with what he says. Like someone like Reagan, for example, he appealed to the entire like U.S. population, or FDR, guys like that, JFK. Trump doesn't have that gift. He's a good speaker, but he doesn't have that gift, and he doesn't have that intention either. Those guys wanted to appeal to everybody. They wanted to have unity amongst the United States, which is ironic because the U.S. was perhaps more united than ever during the Great Depression, despite the Great Depression, because of FDR. But Trump, he's very divisive, logical but divisive. That just creates tribalism, this deep like hate, this deep rooted hate against, with the two-party systems hating each other like fucking deeply.
Kamala, like she's like the whole opposite spectrum. She mainly advocates for the morality of situations, or to always appeal to your feelings or how you feel or whatever, and to satisfy those things and so on and so forth. Wow. But then what the problem though is then she's removing the sense of reality though, and that can be very problematic because there's points and times where feelings aren't necessary to really care for and justify, and you have to do certain functions, otherwise we're going to be fucked in certain regards, right?
Yeah. Practically,
like I'll give it like an example or a simple analogy. Like if you're in an apocalypse, what's going to matter more, your survival skills in reality, or you doing always the right thing and giving someone the benefit of the doubt, or or trying to save someone, or if someone says help me, I'm stranded, and you stop the car, like yeah, sure, that may be the right thing to do, but is that the logical thing to do?
Right.
You see where I'm getting at? Like,
yeah.
So again, like that's
Yeah.
a separate distinction, and she was more along that route and appealing that way, while Trump is the opposite, where he's appealing on the reality of things and not necessarily your feelings, or or to make you feel better, or again the moral aspect of the situation.
Yeah, it comes down to being an idealist versus a realist. You got to find a balance. Like I think Kamala and Biden's administration, they were too idealistic, like trying to appease to people's emotions to the point where they're destroying the economy and fucking sending more money to Ukraine than the fucking United States citizens, and like all this bullshit. Trump,
and it's like Jay said, balance is key though. Like you can do that too, but you can't do it to where you're fucking us all up reality wise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's a limit.
There's a limit. There has to be balance, and it's hard to find that balance. But it has, you got to try your best to find it. Trump's just inherently divisive.
But see, that begs the question though, Jay. Let's say you're having an issue having balance on something like that, because that's inevitable, right? You know what I mean? Because not all conflicts are solvable. That's just blatant a fact, statistic, whatever you name it. So if you ever come to an issue that you can't resolve necessarily, whatever, what are you going to prioritize, and what's more beneficial? Doing the moral right thing, or doing the logical reality decision to where that's going to, help with XYZ, right? Like what's actually better? You know what I mean? The answer is very obvious. You know what I mean? So like, it's again, like it's very straightforward. Like there's always going to be times where eventually someone's going to have to make the harsh decision of doing something, but at the end of the day, it's going to better everyone. You know what I mean? It may not be like right inherently in a sense, but if that's all you can do, then what more do you do, right? Like I don't know what the fuck. Like, and this brings us to the question of another example, the cartel shit. Like, yeah, sure, the whole foundation of innocent until proven guilty, whatever, etc., rights, whatever, blah, blah, the justice system. But how long has it been? Look at all the problems. It's getting worse and worse. Like, is that really the answer to still try to go the morality route or the justice route? Now they're like, fuck this. We're just gonna make this very simple and logical, aka reality type shit, and let's just go put an end to them and put them to the ground. That's it. Like,
honestly,
pretty much.
Yeah, there's a reason why military forces, when they're facing enemies, they
why
always
that was designed.
Yeah, they always say we don't compromise with terrorists. We don't negotiate with terrorists. That's where we are at this point with the cartel. That's the kind of mindset you have to have with them now. You can't negotiate with them. They're an institution now. They're not even just some fucking group of like losers selling drugs. They're an entire fucking like they have like a fucking infrastructure within the fucking country. That's how fucking large they
Like
are.
Jay, even the military, they operate in that aspect as well. They stick mainly to reality and being logical and removing your emotions and feelings, all that. Because if we just went the whole spectrum of emotions and feelings, our militaries would be incompetent, or they would be unreliable at that point.
Yeah.
And that's what's actually like been causing a lot of conversations nowadays with our military of whether or not the military is a joke or whatever, which it is technically now, because they have like all these fucking fat, fucking huge people in the military. Like it's like, how the fuck are you in the military? Like they're fucking fat as shit. They could barely walk, whatever, yet that's the person that's supposed to fucking protect and serve, you know, and you name it. Like you have all that stuff. Then you have fucking all these other things where they have to be like really careful what they say or do, like even the drill instructor. Like it's all going in a direction where it's just more like hindering and undermining than actually like, you know, ensuring our survival and our success rate, you know, to accomplish things, you know. And that's the problem. In the military, they always got that, you know, and that's why the military was the military. Straight discipline, you know, logic, oh fuck, you know, whatever. No, you need to get down to business, you know what I mean? But it's not going that way. It's really sad, you know.
Not at all.
And it's going backwards, you know, and the fact that it can even get as far to even start affecting our military, not completely, but like gradually or in a sense, that's very worrisome, man. You know, so again, like, you know, it just really comes to that fine line of like really understanding that that distinction between the two. To keep it as simple as be, like Jay said, balance is key. But there's going to be a point where you can't balance, and then when you have to make the decision between either just doing the moral right thing or doing the logical thing to make sure reality's not falling apart, obviously the choice should be clear as day. You know, because then if you do the moral thing, you're just going to have tons of issues, and the issues is still not resolved. You know.
Yeah, it comes down to.
So, but people just feel better now, right? And what does that do, right? You know.
So, it comes down to us now going to the other extreme of being too idealistic, allowing fat people to glorify themselves, allowing people to believe they're fucking helicopters when they're human beings. Like it's too far left now, to the point where it's
like, bro, like my family member, bro, he's in the army he's been in there for like 12 years, bro. Yeah. And this man, like, even he's like seeing posts or talking about it. He's like, bro, why am I seeing this fucking ginormous hippopotamus in the army? Like walking around, like, bullshit. What the fuck is this? Well, you know what I mean? Like, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. Yeah. So it's like, again, like, you know, and mind you, like, this is not here to put down fat people. Like, there's one thing to be like slightly overweight or whatever, blah, but no, there's another when you're like fucking huge. Yeah. But yet you could be in a military enforcement. Yeah. That makes no logical fucking sense, you know?
And here's the truth. If you're fat, life will hit you. Biology will show you why you shouldn't be.
Physically, it's been shown. Yep.
Yeah, you should be against being fat. It's that simple. Like, oh my God, you're offending my being. Well, you should be, because you're gonna die younger,
all the big fat streamers and all the big fat celebrities, they all died. They all died. Dude. All the ones that were looking up to, you name it, whatever, they all died and passed away because of what they were doing.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, dude, health is priority, man.
Health is fucking vital, bro. Especially if you're in the military, bro, trying to like run through troops, save your troops, whatever it is, dude. Like, you need to be fit. That's crazy, bro. I never have seen that before. I didn't know that was an actuality.
That's insane.
Yeah. I just feel like, dude, like, we are a part of nature. Like, we're 3% away from chimps, right? Like, if I am, or a lion, right? Like, if a male lion is leading a pack, right, and he sees one sick or injured, do you think he's going to like stop and save it? There's no morality. In essence, dude, like, we're not too far off from just being like animals. You know what I mean? We're just like gifted with this like sense of sentience, you know, and so there is a balance to be had knowing those two factors. But at the end of the day, dude, like, when push comes to shove, the survival of the fittest always survives, and it's
always been that way.
If we are, we're not going to survive. Absolutely.
Exactly. It comes down to survival of the fittest. It's a universal principle that not only applies to humans, like Shinobi said, but to all living things that compete. It's that simple. You know, I'm all for more fairness and equity to a certain extent, you know, because it's no longer fairness at that point. It's almost discrimination on the other extreme, like allowing a fat fuck to be in a position where they have to save lives, or allowing
like bro, like there's a difference. Like we're not sitting here like, oh, fuck fat people, whatever, blah blah. They don't deserve no whatever. No, all we're saying is, hey, bro, if you want to live longer, you want to be healthy, whatever, you probably should change your ways, just whatever.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Giving factual information and saying, hey, this is not, whatever, blah. There's nothing wrong. Now, if you want to ignore that and continue to do whatever, and be like, oh, I'm fat and I'm awesome, blah blah, and defy reality. You do you, bro. You know what I mean? But guess what? You're gonna learn the hard way. Like, yeah, you're gonna have a very short life, or you're gonna have all these medical complications, and that's all we're getting at. So again, it's not no like shaming thing or whatever, blah blah.
Oh no,
which,
no.
Which that's another can of worms. Whether if shaming should be brought back nowadays. It is kind of contentious. Morally speaking, obviously that would not be the answer. But if we're saying reality-wise, shaming people did at least give people incentive to not do what they shouldn't be fucking doing. I'll just put it that way. Let's make it as simple as be. Shaming was actually technically a positive incentive because it basically didn't allow people to get away with things they shouldn't be fucking doing. And that was literally self-harm them, if you get what I'm saying. But
it's
either way, again, that's a whole other thing. But that's to keep it as simple as be. And I'll just give one final example. Like, guys, if we really went the route of just prioritizing feelings and emotions, whatever, you know how many people that fucking have the feeling that they don't want to work, that they should just be able to do whatever they want, get whatever they want? Like, do you think that's logical or sane to enable that, like mentality, whatever someone is? No, that makes no fucking sense. No, you have to earn what you want, right? You have to work, whatever you name. But yeah, we may not want to work, but we got to at the end of the day, right? Or you got to figure out a way how to develop yourself where you could do what maybe you really want to do or passionate about instead of just doing like some robotic fucking job. Either way, reality is reality, right? Yeah, none of us probably don't want to fucking work, but we got to. You know what I mean? So it's like, so yeah, you got to do what you got to do. So are you going to side with the side that says, oh yeah, if we don't want to work and we don't, that's just how we feel, whatever, blah, then that's what we should be able to do, right? Because that's what we want, right? Morally speaking, no, that doesn't make any fucking sense. So again, that's the main example that I'm getting with all this stuff that we're talking about as a whole. And this correlates to anything, IRL, fucking trans rights, whatever you name it, the whole nine. Eventually, there is a certain point where reality is reality. Right. And there's no getting around that. You can talk about the moral scheme of it all day, every day, but that's morality, not reality.
Yeah. It comes down to, it comes down to reality. And the reality is, winners win. Like hard work and doing things the right way historically.
It sucks, but that's how it is.
It is what it is. Survival of the fittest, the guy that works the hardest, that lifts the most weights, that is the smartest, the most talented.
Or the guy that has all the advantages, right? Like he already had all the intellect, fucking or rich family, whatever. Yeah, it's not fair. It sucks, but hey, life, right? So what can you do? Work your ass off and get it, right? Instead of bitching and complaining.
It's
like I've seen people with so much potential at like multiple jobs I've had throughout my life, and like a simple thing as of like just not showing up to work like 3 days at a time and just like shitty and that fucks you up, bro. It's just like
the best one, Shinobi, when they say I'm sick, or I don't feel good.
I'm sick.
It's just like disgusting to me, bro. It's just like I can't listen to people that
daily,
honestly, bro. Like
at all.
Not fair to the rest of us.
Like it's one thing if you're bedridden, right? Like if you got a fucking fever, whatever, or some shit that's contagious. Yeah, obviously no. But I've literally seen people just because they're in some pain, right, with their body, like a little pain, or just some bullshit, and they're like, I don't feel that good or perfect. I'm not gonna come in. It's like, bitch, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
no, facts. The way I am, like, I'm an extremist. I'm not saying everyone should live that way. I'm like, when I have to do things, it's rain, sleet, or snow, man. Like, it's like win or die trying. That's the way I am. I think maybe you shouldn't live that way, but that's just the way I am in general. Hard work, doing things the right way, doing things what you're supposed to do, not because you feel like it, but because it's supposed to be done. That's what leads to true success in this reality. Trying to change the system and pretend that we need to listen to you because you want to feel good about being fat or being another identity, not human being a helicopter. That's delusional, man. That's not how the way reality works. That's not the way nature works.
Do I want to work out 24/7 and do all this shit, whatever? No. I'd rather be investing my time and doing like other personal things, maybe games or whatever, YouTube, whatever, blah blah. Yada yada yada. Right? The list goes on. But guess what? I have to work out because if I don't, I'm gonna get fat. Or if I don't work out, I can't do the things I need to do for my career, etc. Whatever. Like again, like There may be things you don't want to do, but you got to do it.
No, you got to.
Yeah, man.
It has to be done, and it's. I get, I'm all for fairness, equity, making people feel good, but it's to a certain extent, man. It's to a certain extent, because once you pass a certain line, society doesn't work to its highest potential anymore.
They have no
Productivity.
incentives to work. They're going to be lazy. They're not going to care. They're entitled. They think they can do whatever now. Blah blah. They think the world revolves around them. Now you're actually developing technically narcissistic traits, etc.
Yeah.
Like it's a negative fucking domino effect. Like there's no discipline. There's no nothing, and it's chaos at that point.
No
If we keep going the direction of steering of only prioritizing people's feelings and emotions, and just ignoring reality or defying the world, how it operates and works, we're going, bro, we're fucked. Like if we continue to ignore science, we are fucked. Like that's another component of it. Climate, all that, the world, whatever. We still to this day have not given a fuck. Trump is literally like also like that was another thing I heard. He's also like disparting like the something to do with the climate with Paris and all that shit or whatever, blah blah.
Oh yeah.
To be fair, I don't know about all that, but the main point I'm being said is like we've never even taken that seriously. The world, the climate, the health of the world, and everything. Like so again, like if we can just continue to be delusional, like Jake is saying, okay, it's literally inevitable doom. That's all I'm getting at, bro.
Yeah,
it really is.
It's not productive. Societies crumble that way. If you're cultivating a new generation of narcissistic, entitled, borderline delusional people, 20 to 30 years, you're going to see the consequences of that. When you see hard worker, blue collar, labor workers retiring, the newer generation is pussified. They don't want to work on the power lines. They don't want to oil drill. They don't want to fucking keep our little infrastructure fucking standing. Like that's happening now. There's like statistics that with these guys retiring, the guys that put in the hard work that literally keep our infrastructure alive, the new generation's pussified. They don't want to do it. They don't want to go on a fucking 100-foot fucking power line and fix it. They don't want to go up a fucking windmill and fix it fucking 1,000 feet in the air.
Yeah, men, especially men,
Pussies,
like it's getting where they're just like fuck. They're all just it's sad, dude.
Sad
and again, like this is like. And this again, this connects to everything, guys. It's not just certain things we've been talking about. It's everything. This could be from marriages, relationships, your fucking kids, whatever, blah blah. Like, and it's really even bad, especially when we're talking about marriages or relationships, because the whole fucking bullshit narrative, like, oh, it's about my happiness and all this. No, bitch.
It's bullshit.
The whole point of a fucking relationship is commitment and making sacrifices and compromises. That's the whole point of a relationship, and especially marriage with your fucking vows. Like you're literally contradicting the principles of what a relationship stands for, and especially fucking marriage. Like again, like this whole thing about like it's all about our feelings or our happiness, whatever. No, that's blatant selfish bullshit. If that's how everything always boiled down, no, everybody would be happy then. But that's not how the world operates. You know what I mean? Like,
not at all.
But the problem though is we continue to try to enable it and just get it to higher and higher and higher levels of delusion. And that's the issue. And it's just going to get worse and more problematic because I'm sorry, like if you're going to over here be like, oh, my happiness is more important and that triumphs over being there for my kids and, whatever, whether if it's being a husband or a wife, whatever. And I'm just going to go do my own thing, whatever, because, I'm not happy, right? I don't want to be a father or I don't want to have to be, whatever, all this shit, whatever. That makes no logical sense, bro.
No,
because you're literally hurting others. You're being selfish. You're hurting your kids. You're hurting your potential person you're with, whatever, blah, blah. You're giving up. Like, what's the whole point of fucking endurance? You know what I mean? Or fucking not giving up and so on and so forth, redemption, right? Forgiveness. Yeah. Like, again, like we're just taking the shortcuts and the easy routes. And that's why society is literally creating a bunch of failures and a bunch of losers and a bunch of lazy people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, because nobody wants to get in the trenches or nobody wants it to go the hard route that life is, because life is not easy. Society is trying to make it that life is easy, and there's all these shortcuts of this or this way, whatever. And it's bullshit. Yeah, it's delusion.
It's bullshit. And the truth is, you have two choices. You're gonna suffer either way, especially if you're a man. Yeah. It's either you suffer your way to success via stress, via grind, via being in the trenches, or you suffer your way to misery, bitterness. You're going to look up people that are doing what you wish you could have done. You're going to be bitter, envious, miserable, You can't look yourself in the mirror at night. You don't want to be alone. You go to the club to escape reality. You're gonna suffer either way. So you have a choice to make. What kind of man do you want to be? What kind of man do you want? Would you rather be proud of yourself that you're providing for your people, or pretend that you're proud of yourself because you prioritize your own happiness? In reality, you're a fucking miserable, bitter ass loser. You got to determine that yourself. Because all these people most of these people are lying to themselves. They're saying, I'm happy that I'm fat, that I identify as a unicorn. I live in my mom's basement.
I'm single.
I'm a virgin. My kids and all
this. Yeah.
In reality, they're fucking miserable, man. They're fucking miserable. That's a fucking lie. They're fucking lying to you, man.
No human being wants to be alone. Nobody.
No. What kind of human being would want to be a fat fucking virgin loser? That's a fucking lie. No one wants to be that shit, man. Everyone wants to be a winner. That's the reality. The truth is, though, most people don't want to do what it takes. It's that simple. Like,
in reality, like AK the GOAT said, moderate. And yes, I'm bringing up fiction because it still applies. Yeah. There will be winners and there will be losers. That is simply reality. But all because you lose doesn't mean you give up and doesn't mean you keep going. Or better yet, at least try to make do with what you have. Because what you have could be a lot more than what the other person does not have.
Exactly.
It's called being grateful and being appreciative.
Someone once said, like, every man is born with a hand, right? Like a deck of cards. They're born into this world with a hand. Some hands are better than others. But you have a hand. That's the point. You can do something with it. You can do something with it, man. It's that simple. So,
and another reality expectation too, to really hit this on the fucking nail, guys. Like think of it this way, in the most simplest way. Sure, you could prioritize your happiness in certain areas, or you could do this thing, whatever. But here's the thing. You could escape reality at certain moments, right? Because we've been in this delusional cycle of enabling things, whatever, blah, and ignoring reality. You can do that to a certain extent. But eventually you're gonna hit a wall to where reality is reality and you have no way around it. Not your feelings, not your emotions,
nothing.
Not what makes it. None of that will be able to deal with that particular issue. And that particular issue could only be resolved if you either had money or if you had someone else around, et cetera, et cetera. But guess what? You lost all of those things because you prioritize all the other bullshit, which ended up you not having the things you need to confront certain things that you have no way getting around of, which just requires literally logical and reality. That's basically what I'm getting at, So like one simple example to make it a little more understanding. Let's say you have a girl, whatever, right? There's some like stupid issues in the relationship that could be easily resolved or whatever, but she just got butthurt, whatever you name it. And it's like, oh, I'm not happy or whatever, blah. And she decided to leave, right? Okay, well, what's happening now? What's she doing? She may be a little bit happy for the moment, but where's she at now? Now she has no man, no one around. She has no money. She's all alone, and she has to start all fucking over. And good luck finding a fucking a really successful dude as well. Okay, that's another thing in this hypothetical. This is a successful dude. So good luck finding that. No, you're gonna be stuck with nothing but average or below average men. Okay, exactly. And now you're definitely gonna be miserable because you're gonna have all these things to deal with, whatever, et cetera, all these obstacles, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's just one example of like when you prioritize happiness, right? Or a certain fucking thing of like, oh, this makes me satisfied, or this is the easier route, right? Let me just do that. Okay, well now you have all this to deal with, and this is the reality of your situation. And is that what you really wanted? No, right? Because you just made your life a billion times fucking harder,
Exactly.
And I'll say this too as well. I'm pretty sure Jane Shinobi would agree. It's okay to fight for your happiness, but there's a way to do it. You can be happy, but you have to work for it the right way is what we're getting at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
And when you'll be fully happy when you have worked hard enough to get what you truly desire or whatever, or earned it, etc., whatever, or at least know you're doing everything in your power to get what you are desiring in life, right? But if you're over here just taking shortcuts or giving up on things or thinking, it's all about you, whatever, blah, blah, you're going to end up alone. You're going to end up as a loser. It's that fucking simple.
That's reality, honestly. Yeah, or a virgin, or both, literally. $2 from Kedrick, appreciate that, brother. In Dragon Ball, who would be the best president? In Dragon Ball?
Piccolo, dude.
Oh, yeah, I'd probably Piccolo. He's very intellectual, very fair, great values.
Goku and Vegeta, they're just very, very, like, emotional and stubborn to their ways. Like, Goku's just a ding-dong. Vegeta's just like he's a hardhead.
Piccolo's more centered, than those two. He's more centered.
If it wasn't Piccolo, then I would pick a Vegeta as a second, though, because it's better than like nothing, But
Piccolo's very calculated. I feel like very calculated, very centered as a man or as a Namekian. Very good.
He's
very
like
good.
a perfect in between. Like his only problem was always just lacking in power, really.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, lacking in power. Like, as far as his character, we see how good of a mentor he is when he's training Gohan. The lessons he gives him. Like, he's very centered, very calculated, very intelligent. Yeah, he'd be a great president. I think he probably would be the best one. Yeah, him or Roshi. Yeah, Roshi
or
because
Kami,
of his, even Kami. Yeah, that's a good
know?
one. Just because of the wisdom, like experience.
Yeah. Mechans are
very, very wise. Yeah. As long as technology advances, most traditions are probably going to fade. Yeah, technology is quickly changing society.
It's becoming interesting, man. It's overcoming a lot. Yep.
Yeah, society
taking away a lot of jobs.
Oh, facts. Yeah, the job market's changed drastically. AI being introduced is probably going to change it drastically. I'd say I would have predicted the next 10 to 20 years as well. More so, easier jobs are going to be replaced. These people that do these jobs are going to be replaced by AI because a company is going to automate it instead of paying someone a salary. That's very obvious. Less skill requiring jobs will be eliminated. That's just the reality. I think it's unfortunate, but hey, in a way, that'll force more people to acquire a skill. It'll create desperation, in people, that don't have a skill. Rather, I think Future Trunks would be a good president. Trunks, he's pretty centered. Yeah.
Adult Gohan too.
Adult Gohan would be a good one.
Honestly, the only other candidates besides Piccolo really is just Vegeta and Gohan. But the reason why I would still lean towards Vegeta is because I feel like he's a lot more logical, and more willing to do things that might be required that Gohan wouldn't be able to do because of morality.
Yeah, very logical. Seriously, Kawaki should have known that Amado would have a failsafe. Why wouldn't he? I mean, there's nothing else he could have really done, against Amado. Like, go after him.
Kawaki's not known for intelligence either.
Yeah, like look
He's
at it
just
from
known for being like power and emotional.
Like logically, what he did wasn't a bad idea. Like he moved very quickly as soon as he found out that, that Amado was watching him. That was the best course of action. Because what else could he have done? Any time it's possible that Amado could have shut him off. Which he did.
It's fucking Amado. That man is literally the fucking embodiment of prep time. Literally,
you cannot outsmart Amado. No one has successfully in the entire franchise. Not even fucking Ishiki could fucking outsmart him. So, nobody has been able to outsmart him. So not fucking Shikamaru. Nobody, fucking no one.
Yeah,
but it makes sense, and the reason why is because all the things that are going on now, it was because of the creation by Amado's hands. Nobody else. Like he's been in control this entire time, and he literally thinks and plans for every scenario possibly. Again, very similar to what Batman even does, or someone like Doctor Doom. The guy literally thinks of every fucking scenario. He just has no room for error, really. He always has a get out of jail free card.
Let's put it into perspective. He's a fucking regular human, no shinobi abilities, no nothing, and he has actual negotiation power amongst gods. That's how fucking powerful, how intelligent he is. He's a fucking regular guy, as far as physical ability, but he's so fucking smart. Doesn't
that sound familiar, Jane Shinobi? Like Batman and Darkseid? Remember when Batman's negotiating? He's like, "Nah, bitch, you gonna listen here."
Yeah, it's like Batman in that one film. Fucking I think it was
Darkseid's like, "You dare!"
Yeah, he's like, "You dare defy me?" And then as soon as he doesn't bluff, he's like, "Damn, you're built different." He literally admitted it to him.
With the nuke, the alien warheads or some shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, I know your past, whatever, but it's all ready to go. If you don't fucking do what I say, bitch, I'm releasing that shit. And then Darkseid's like, you're bluffing. He's like, Omega something, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Does that sound like a bluff to you, bitch? And then Darkseid's like, you motherfucker.
He's like, you fucker. Yeah, that's how powerful, that's how intelligent he is. He's like, you fucking piece of shit. But yeah, that's crazy.
And Darkseid couldn't do shit. He was pissed, and that's why he's screaming. He's like, you dare defy. And he even tried to fear hacks intimidate him too, but Batman's has crazy willpower. He would never crack like that.
Hell no.
So like, and Batman was like, nope. He's like, take the deal, bitch. Take it or leave it.
Yeah, he's like, bitch. He had his ass like hanging over a fucking like lava pit or some shit. He's like, do what I say. He's like,
here's the problem, and I'm kind of seeing like from what just from what I'm hearing. I haven't read all of Boruto manga yet, which I am eventually. But what's it called? But like, it's a common trend. Like Amado is always going to be on top or always have the advantage because he's willing to remove the things that like that I guess like would make him weak in a sense or matter or make him be irrational. Like he's very very cut, throat and dry and stays as logical as possible or like tries to remove emotions, whatever, etc. And he just does what he needs to fucking do. Because we do know he has one goal. I don't know what that is. I heard there's apparently this goal that he has. Yeah, okay, his daughter. And something about that, and he has that goal. And what he's done, he's just robotic with it. He's cut all morals, everything, whatever you could fucking think of, and he's gonna do whatever it's gonna take to accomplish that goal. And if you operate in that sense, in that mentality, the sky's the fucking limit because nothing's holding you back.
Yeah,
the reason why everyone loses is because they have things that hold them back. They're either conflicted or they don't know, or they're still trying to find themselves or whatever. He has no like hesitation. So he's always just going to be on top because that's just what he wants and he's going for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you have that mindset and that's how you respond to everything, bro, like what can stop you? You know what I mean?
He's very cutthroat. Yeah, he's very cutthroat.
Yeah. He has a very severe advantage because of it,
Yeah. Amado versus Black Zetsu in intelligence. Amado's by far more intelligent. Black Zetsu just had like a fucking eon of time to prepare.
Yeah. And the reason why is because if this motherfucker can create robots, remind you, that are like fucking godlike to fight against people like Naruto, or to even be beyond like aliens that were even more powerful than them. Like, bro, it's not even a competition.
Not a competition. Black Zetsu just had the.
You could probably try to argue like, maybe like Zetsu had all around general knowledge in comparison, but again, like, what does that do when it comes to prep, analyzing on the fly, trying to figure out how to win a chess match? You know what I mean? Like Zetsu never really operated like that. He was always just trying to manipulate people and use the knowledge that he did know and just, and basically, play with puppets, basically, right? While Amado, he'll use his intelligence and make shit happen. He doesn't even need to manipulate. No, he'll just make it happen, whether if it's by making something, whatever, or maybe manipulation as well. But you get the point, right? He can do it any way he wants. While Zetsu was literally obligated to do just manipulation tactics.
Exactly. So, yeah. What's your top 5 smartest Naruto characters? Amado, number 1. I don't think it's not even close. Shikamaru, his father Shikadai, probably Itachi and Minato.
Shikaku.
Shikaku. Itachi and Minato probably. Or you could switch it and maybe say Itachi Kakashi
Yeah, I would say like Itachi, definitely Itachi. Minato's a very interesting one. He's very, very smart as well. But I would definitely have Itachi over Shikamaru though, because he always outperformed him in
He's fucking smart.
Yeah, always.
He's very intelligent.
He even out-analyzed Minato in the Obito interaction. It was movie only. It was the Road to Ninja, but like the fact that he deduced how Obito operated and he didn't even fight him yet, while Minato had to fight him at first and then deduce it, So like Itachi, he's always just been very, very built different. And if Itachi's been superior or just inconsistency always performing better than Shikamaru, I don't see why he wouldn't be able to perform similarly or even better to what Shikamaru has done in Boruto. But if we're just basing upon overall feats, then obviously Shikamaru because Itachi died. It's not really fair,
exactly, yeah. Yeah, those guys would probably be top 5. Amado, honestly, by far is the smartest, though. It's not even fucking close. No one even compares.
Honorable mentions, though, are probably like Hiruzen and Tobirama, though, I have to say, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, those are good ones. Those are some honorable mentions. Those guys are pretty intelligent. I mean, Tobirama's a pioneer. Hiruzen is like stated to know all the jutsu in the leaf, at least know of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so he's very intelligent. Those guys, very, very intelligent people. But yeah, folks, a few more questions. We're almost at the 3-hour mark here. W fucking streaming got very political, obviously. It's been a while though since we've gone political. Been quite some time, but obviously because of inauguration and all that, Trump's inauguration and all of the executive actions he's made, executive orders, and it's quite monumental. We'll have to wait and see how these executive orders affect the United States. the cartel one, the World Health Organization one, all the other ones he's done. He did like dozens of them. Many things that he's done. He's done a bunch of pardoning, like pardoned a bunch of people. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with all that. You know, he's been in there for 3 days.
From the Capitol. That shit was crazy too.
Oh, facts. Yeah, that was fucking crazy.
Rush.
Yeah, definitely crazy. He's very, very active. That's for sure. Very active. But yeah, folks, any final questions here? Any final questions before he departs? Amado is Boruto's Aizen. Intelligence-wise, yeah. He is fucking Aizen. Aizen's built different. Show.
No, I can't wait to see I come back in part 4, dude.
Oh my god. Sick. That shit was so fire. Yeah, it's gonna be so fire. I want to see him in combat. I mean, even him just tied up is fucking shit up. Like, fucking crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, he's so powerful that Shinsui's like has to be fucking wary of him. He's like, bitch, you're not getting out of that seat. I'm sorry. You know, like, we're keeping you chained up.
But what did I forgot to mention though? Minato though, the one thing I'll give him though is he always had the intellect thing, like when it came to like general knowledge test wise though, because he had the highest test score though. That's just a blatant given though.
Yeah, so he's the highest scorer in the academy's history. Yeah, he's very intelligent. Yeah. But yeah, folks, I think that might wrap it up. W stream, extremely political. Maybe one day I'll make a fucking politics channel or some shit and just post political shit there and probably get canceled, but do that or something.
Yeah, probably get canceled though, but
probably get fucking canceled. Where does Naruto and Sasuke rank in intelligence? Sasuke would rank higher than Naruto.
Yeah, definitely higher. Yeah.
I think Sasuke would be in the top 15 bare minimum, maybe top 10.
Yeah, like Sasuke, all around intelligence, he's blatantly just superior. Like, it's without a doubt. The only thing Naruto had over Sasuke was like the unpredictable like strategy intelligence, like or like do things on the fly at certain moments that like you wouldn't really expect to counter someone. That I'll give.
Yeah, Naruto is very good at improvising it. Yeah, very good at that. Improvisation. Naruto would be like top 30, top 25 probably. Something like that. Maybe top 20.
Yeah, there's a lot of characters in Naruto, dude.
Yeah, there's a fuck ton of them. Yeah, there's so many. Yeah. But yeah, folks, that's gonna wrap it up. We appreciate you guys. If you haven't already, make sure to hit the like button. If you haven't already, it's gonna be appreciated. And we'll see you next time, folks. Stay classy.